Tonight we head deep into Alamance County for the Carolina Classic Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by West Shore Home. One of the best teams in the state, the Reedsville Rams of 2A state football, take on the Eastern Alamance Eagles of 3A football. Both teams undefeated, a big-time matchup here in Mebane. We welcome you to Fred Brady Stadium with the former Catawba offensive lineman, Mark Covert. I'm Evan Budrovich. Tonight is a family affair. For Reedsville, former head coach Jimmy Teague and his son running the show. For Eastern Alamance, it's the Kirby family taking center stage. How do these family matchups play a role tonight?
Oh, it's all about the legacy that you have here and the stake that you claim for both of these high schools. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Two teams headed in the same direction, but with very different styles based on lineage.
Reidsville is the football capital of North Carolina, and Rebecca Fiorentino explains more.
The players affectionately call them Little Teague and Big Teague, and this year, Little Teague, aka Eric, is now the big boss on campus. He spent the last 11 seasons as the offensive coordinator, but always had aspirations of one day becoming a head coach, not knowing if it would work out to follow in his father's footsteps at Reedsville. Well, this March, that dream became a reality. And yesterday he told us that since becoming head coach, the philosophy remains the same. The biggest change is that he's now more involved in the defensive meetings. And as for his father, Jimmy Teague, he has retired, but he's still at every practice and every Friday night game. He's here tonight in the box on headset.
Thanks, Rebecca. This is certainly a family affair tonight. Eastern Alamance and Reedsville. When we come back, we'll have kickoff of this family affair for our Carolina Classic Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. Two undefeateds battling for 4-0 in just a few minutes. Anytime you have two undefeated clubs, keys to the game very important tonight. For Reedsville, running the football with that offensive line.
Look, it's no secret that Reedsville football, DNA-wise, is built on running the football, and that includes strong offensive line play. These guys up front really got to move this football around and still play that hard-nosed football we know Reedsville can. But when you look at Eastern Alamance, though, it's a little bit different. There's a little more finesse to the game. Not to take away from it, but the play-action passing's got to be important here tonight. Jason Ball, the quarterback, has to shine in this game, and they've got to find a way to finish things out. A little rocky last week against Northern Guilford. Shut this one down early and keep that pressure going throughout.
You mentioned Jason Ball, 5 interceptions in last year's meeting against Reedsville. Turnovers, a big story in that 22 matchup.
It really was. I mean, when you go back and look at that, those were opportunities not just missed, but they came one right after the other for the most part. So it was a situation where You want these guys to capitalize on their opportunities. And Al Lee, the quarterback on the other side, it really is a QB matchup here tonight. He is the star. He's the engine that makes this offense go. He's going to be important to what they do offensively. And we already touched on Jason Ball and what he brings to the table as well. Just a superior athlete on the offensive side of the football for Eastern Alamance. A true leader in this offense as well. I'm curious to see how much he's grown over the past year.
A 4-year quarterback who slung it for 3 touchdowns last week in a big win, 48-44. That was high scoring. Eastern Alamance, they deferred with Jason Ball, so he'll stay on the bench. And that means Reedsville will get the ball first for our Hayes Jewelers kickoff. That's a Hayes Jewelers kickoff of Lexington, the king of diamonds since 1939. Let's get this puppy underway with a nice boot here in Alamance County, North Carolina at Mebane. And the opening kickoff return for Reedsville. And that's taken out by Janias Sharp just inside the 30. So Reedsville 3-0, averaging 30 points a game, and it starts with Al Lee, the 4-year starter at quarterback.
And man, he's special. You watch him, he has all the physical tools you want in a quarterback, especially at this level, and you can understand why the dominance of Reedsville, the proclaimed football capital of North Carolina, is so successful. It's because of guys like Al Lee.
22 state titles at Reedsville. They know how to win football games.
They do.
Opening drive for the Rams, 1st and 10. Deep shot, looking long and incomplete. Intended for Kushan Flippin, who's been out with an ankle injury the first 3 weeks. Flippin is back. How does he impact this club?
Well, he brings so much speed, and you saw it there on the first play. Those deep shots down the field become more apparent and more frequent when Flippin is on the field. He really has an opportunity to take those routes, and as long as Lee can connect with him down the field, that is a major boon for this offense.
Kushan Flippin, 36 career touchdowns. His impact could be vital tonight for Reedsville.
When he's on the field, his presence is certainly felt.
Now on 2nd down, it's a QB keeper. Nice hole for Al Lee, and that's a 1st down gain of 15. Moving the chains for that Crescent Ford 1st down.
You see right there, just one of the abilities and traits that Al Lee brings to the table, his running ability. We talk about the arm as much as possible at the quarterback spot, but he is someone who can really move the sticks with his feet, get down the field, straight ahead. Good job blocking up front as well.
Fresh set of downs for Al Lee. Scrambles out, forced to throw and finds a target. That's the 6'7" tight end, Kendra Harrison, taking 4 defenders with him to the 35. What a physical specimen at tight end.
I mean, you'd say 6'7", say less about him at that point. This is a guy that can stretch the field. You see the long strides, how he's able to get open. And good job communicating with Lee that time. Puts the hand up, lets him know he's open. And that right there, nice throw, nice catch, and another 1st down for this Reedsville offense.
This last week alone, 2 touchdowns, 120 yards. That was more than his entire season total as a freshman. Put on a display here in year 2.
You can see the development, and that's really what you want to see. How do they develop year after year? Just another weapon for this offense.
From the 35, nice toss to Jamari Cobb, the tailback. And nearly 10 yards as Jeriel Cobb gets 7 on 1st down.
See the patience running the football there. Well done.
We also see tonight's Sky Weather Watch game forecast on ABC News 45. Nice and cool at 74 by 10 o'clock tonight.
It doesn't even feel like 84 right now, does it? I mean, even at field level, nice little breeze going, coming off the water here by the field. It was pleasant week 4 in the high school football season.
We are surrounded by Quaker Creek here in Alamance County. It's a beautiful sight. Has the field of Clemson, South Carolina here on 1st down. 2nd and 3. Juking his way around and getting the 1st down is Flippin. He flips the chains after a gain of 5.
It's a nice play right here. And this is where the ease comes in realistically for this offense. Just get it out to your guys in space. Allow them to go to work in those one-on-one matchups, and they'll get you the yards you're looking for. Just give them the opportunity.
Kushan Flip has been out with a shoulder and an ankle injury for 3 weeks. Big presence for Reedsville. Just outside the red zone on 1st down. Quarterback runs, dragged, and he's stonewalled there. Gain of 3. Good pursuit by this defense led by the senior Javante Poteet.
This offense trying to test that passing ability here against this secondary of Eastern Alamance early. All verts that time. Al Lee smartly pulls the football down and gets what he can out of it instead of putting that ball in harm's way and throwing it into coverage downfield.
That's 3 carries for the quarterback on this first drive.
They're certainly not afraid to put that ball on the ground, especially in number 14's hands. Lee is a special player running the football.
Second down toss. There's Harrison. He cuts back. Look at Kendre gets scooped up. Great tackle by Zier Ray in the backfield.
What pursuit, but really great job staying home on the backside by Zier Ray. Just watch him here. Sits down inside, waits for the play to come to him, and then makes the play when it gets to him. Great job tripping up the receiver that time. Harrison had nowhere to go. That's an excellent job by Ray in pursuit.
Ray was all conference last year at 3A football. 6 tackles last week. And now a whistle on our first flag of the night. That'll be on the defense of Eastern Alamance. That's Mike Ward, our lead ref. He's not mic'd up tonight, but we'll give Mike the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, just common courtesy, right? But really common courtesy, even as the home team, you can't give up free yards like that. And that's going to drive your coaching staff crazy. Just not what you want to do against an offense that's as powerful as what Reedsville has displayed, and only getting better as they add players back from injury in the early parts of the season.
Second, third down for Reedsville tonight. Lee throws the screen. Breaking a tackle. That's Cameron Jones inside the 10. Look at the pile move to the 5. And Jones takes everybody for 15 yards.
A little bit of big boy football. Big guys getting down the field. Good screen set up that time. Just to get inside that time, Jones read it well, read his blocks, gets downfield, keeps the legs turning, and stays up long enough and watch the big guys come in behind and just push that pile forward. Really nice job and effort on the back end of that play.
Setting up first and goal. First handoff. There's Cobb. He bounces off. Cobb still moving. He gets half the yards he needs. The second effort of Reedsville tonight. So impressive.
Well, and you can see that on the first drive already, too. You see how they are trying to get their playmakers, not just in space. When they get the ball, they're finishing plays. I mean, they're going down the field, keeping the legs driving, and really working. You see the effort there. That is what is going to lead to a winning effort here tonight if you're Reedsville.
Reedsville averages 150 yards on the ground per night. Now sitting on the goal line here. Second and goal.
We'll see some more smash mouth football here out of the Rams.
Lee the handoff. Cobb moves forward. First rushing touchdown of the night. But wait, we have a whistle and a flag down.
Well behind the play too. Usually,
and was this before the snap?
Something against the offense.
That'll neutralize the touchdown. Eric Teague, head coach, noted the self-inflicted wounds, a big issue for Reedsville last week.
Well, and especially now when you're in a goal-to-go situation, you go 5 yards further back, and it makes it that much tougher, even for an offense that has as many weapons as what Reedsville does. You got to take advantage of the opportunity and not shoot yourself in the foot when you have those golden opportunities inside the 5. This is an area where you're going to look out for big number 0. That is our guy.
Second and goal. Toss to the end zone and a touchdown. Pitch and catch beauty to flipping for the first score.
Well, it wasn't 0, but we'll go 1 digit up from that to number 1. Just really nice read that time. Ali, good game plan the whole way down the drive, and they finished it off with an easy catch in the back of the end zone. Well executed play and drive all the way around to open this one up by Reedsville.
First game back for Flip and an immediate touchdown. And Reedsville loves to be creative on these extra point attempts. So Cameron Jones comes in motion. Couple of options. Tough play for Janiah Sharp, and he's dragged down. Zier Ray sniffed that one out.
Another effort play that time by Ray. Stop any more points from going on the board, so excellent effort, but Reedsville able to capitalize on their first drive of the game. Nice little catch and play, and finally, we have some points on the board.
Welcome back to Fred Brady Complex. Welcome back to Fred Brady Complex. Reedsville on top 6-0. Well, QB Ali told me that his pregame routine includes eating a blue slushie and eating gummy worms. Well, I figured the blue slushie would probably melt by the time our game started, so I brought some gummy worms so that we would have a good broadcast as well. He says without these things, he doesn't have a good game. For away games, he eats it on the bus, so he's hoping that it'll help him for today's game as well. And I'll eat some gummy worms as well, guys. I'll send them to you later.
I am very hungry.
Where was this earlier?
Rebecca didn't offer any treats before the game. On a nice touchdown drive orchestrated by the senior quarterback.
Just really well orchestrated, and really give it up for the play calling on the drive as well. Put these guys in a position where it was easy to make plays, and that's what you got to do. It's a little give and take between the coaching staff and players.
Thanks. Sorry, can't
It's our Hayes Jewelers kickoff, return from the 20. Nice opening here, and the kicker comes in to make the tackle. You don't see that every day. Devin Shyrock did on the stop. And now the first look at this Eastern Alamance quarterback, Jason Ball, the senior. How does Jason bounce back after the interceptions last year against Reedsville? 5 picks.
Put it in the back of your mind, but understand that this is a new year, a new game. And from what we've heard, the maturity level has gone up a ton since we saw them last year. Really the one bad game on their record last year, and they only lost in the regular season.
1st and 10. That pass is caught. And a nice gain, nearly a first down on the opening play. That pitch and catch ability of Jason Ball, 3 touchdowns last week. 1 on the ground, 2 in the air, and here's the starting attack. The the First Source rental starting lineups. Keep tabs on Charlie Deacon, the slot receiver here on 2nd short. Now on the ground, a first down carry. That's Josh Murray, the senior at 5'9". He packs a punch in the ground.
He sure does. When we saw these two teams last year, Murray was a stud in this matchup. Runs hard behind his pads and also has a lot of speed in the open field. And you can see it right there. Just keeps those legs churning, moving for a first down.
Josh Murray and Tyreek Samuel, both 1,000-yard rushers last year. Back to the ground on first down. Murray gets outside and loses the football. Picked up by Reedsville. Opportunistic Christian Scales with the turnover.
Just like that, you talk about the playmaking ability of the offense of Reedsville. Now the defense flexing its muscle, staying active around the football, keep the hands inside and punch the football out. A dive on it down the field. Looked like a successful run, but put the helmet right on the football that time.
That was Corey Rhodes knocking it loose.
You said, Evan, best word, opportunistic. This defense flexing its muscle early on and gives it back to their red-hot offense.
So Bryson Miller with the fumble recovery. That's the 5th fumble Reedsville's defense has picked up.
And this was something at the beginning of the game last year where we had some issues with Eastern Alamance and its turnovers. But those piled up last year. The question is now, can this group of Eagles put it behind them and start new?
Great field position for Reedsville, 2nd drive, after a 71-yard touchdown drive. Now Lee talking to his offense here on first down. Lee out of the pocket, throws off the back foot. Nice catch by Harrison. And we have a whistle.
I mean, how do you even begin to defend that? 6'7", he goes up in the air, and really it's a jump ball. In most situations, they'll say 50-50. When you've got a 6'7" tight end at the high school level, it's really more of an 80-20, maybe 90-10 ball. Just go up there and throw it to him. Let him go get it. In triple coverage, no less.
It's like watching Jeremy Shockey at Miami. Such an impact player going up in the air.
I know he's a wide receiver, but I was going to say Megatron. Calvin Johnson when he was in Detroit.
We have an injured player down for Eastern Alamance. And also Harrison got a bit shaken up on that contact. That was the biggest thing defensive coordinator Ricky Morton told us. We have to stop Kendra Harrison.
Right, and you can see the impact already on this game. A big target who isn't just big. I mean, you're not just throwing it up to this guy. He can run. He's a skill position player and a true weapon for this offense. It's shown early in the year. And really is one of those guys, as the year goes on, you're going to see some exciting highlights out of him.
So Harrison slowly gets up. He's playing both ways on a hot and sticky night. There was a holding as well back in this play up. You don't see 6'7", 250 as a sophomore very often in high school.
You don't see 6'7", 250 almost really ever in high school, especially at a skill position like tight end.
This is 1st and long for Al Lee. Throws short. Open option, Cameron Jones, who's piled to the ground. Great tackle, Zephaniah Gaddis, his first stop.
Shallow cross that time, sift out pretty well by Eastern Alamance defensively, able to chase that one down and gang tackle. You like the pursuit, and that's what you got to see defensively. It can't just be one guy getting to the football. It's got to be several flocking to it.
That was just a 3-yard gain on 1st down. 2nd and long, pressure, pass caught, short of the sticks, and it's incomplete. That is ruled incomplete through the hands of Janiah Sharp. And that's where Tajon Robertson wants a touchdown on the loose ball.
Yeah, absolutely. But what a great break on the football. Sitting back, good pass by Ali. Should have been a catch, but look at the contact. Tracks it immediately, goes up and makes that play. That is excellent cornerback work.
And for fans at home, he did not make a football play, correct, to hold on to that?
Right, exactly. You got to take those 2 to 3 steps to make a football move before it applies.
Longest 3rd down for Reedsville tonight, 3rd and 17, after scoring a touchdown just 2 minutes ago. Here's Sharp in motion, but everyone moved too fast. 3rd penalty for Reedsville tonight.
And despite that first touchdown drive, a little bit impatient so far tonight. Some mental errors that have really been the only blemish on their drive so far.
This is the first Source Rental starting lineup, and it all starts with Harrison, the receiver, and then Jones has come on strong on the slot.
Absolutely. Saw him on that first drive make a nice play, get down the field, push some tacklers down the field. Again, it's just an offense that has a bevy of weapons that they will deploy in any which way they desire at any time.
3rd and long. Here's the blitz. Deep shot. Whoa. Was that contact in time? No, it's late. There's the flag. What do you think, Mark?
I don't know. Real time, I didn't like that. I thought it looked, from our vantage point,
that pass intended for flipping there.
It looked like the timing was good on it. I mean, really just great contact, tracking the ball down the field. I'll just be interested to see what the call is here.
Here's Mike Ward with a big call.
Take a look. Now look.
Is Deshaun Hairston early there?
It's a pretty close call. I can see why they threw the flag. But I mean, that's just where you're at. I think as a coach, you want to track that football in the air.
Big name in the middle for our first Source Rental starting lineup. Peyton Wright, the leader in high school state football in tackles last year for Eastern Alamance.
And just a true ball hawk. I mean, you see him in command of the defense, getting his guys lined up. This is a leader at the linebacker position, exactly what you want out of that position at this level.
That's James Laurinaitis with the neck brace. 177 tackles last year. He sits in the middle on 3rd and 7 following the penalty. Lee runs. There's your tackles leader on the stop. And a 3rd down stop for the best tackler of the state. What makes Peyton Wright so special?
Instincts. That's really what it comes. He's so instinctual with the way he plays. Just watching the ball carriers, not getting fooled by play action, smoke and mirrors. Just watch him set up inside, sheds a block, gets in there, and makes the first play on the ball carrier, Al Lee. Just an excellent football player.
Now going forward here on 4th down.
Maybe trying to draw him off sides of the false start.
There's 25 on the play clock. A lot of time on 4th and 4. Lee punts. No one back to return. And what a nice bounce for Reedsville. That's nearly a 50-yard punt. Flipping the field there for the Reedsville Rams.
Yeah, not too bad, right? Trying to get an easy, cheap first down. Good discipline by the Eagles of Eastern Alamance there.
As Pat McAfee would say, punters are people too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they're quarterbacks.
For the brand. Sometimes you got to switch it up a little bit. But a nice punt flips the field, like you said, Evan, and now the Eagles have a long way to go to get their first points of the ballgame.
Here's Jason Ball, a rare 4-year starter and a 4-year contributor at Eastern Alamance. 25 passing touchdowns in the senior's career. John Kirby has noted we've given more confidence in Ball to call audibles, run the offense, and he's setting up this 1st and 10. A handoff outside. Murray extends, plows forward. Nice dive by Josh Murray, and that was designed by the quarterback before the flag.
Sure was. Just a nice run off the right side, good blocking down the field, but you can see where Murray's trying to fight for those yards. And that's something that him and Tyreek Samuel are going to do tonight. Those legs are going to continue to churn. You got to stop them.
That is on the defense. 15 extra yards on the face mask. And that started because of the hard running of Josh Murray.
Well, you really got to work hard to get Josh Murray to the ground here. I mean, look, see the face mask there, and he just keeps going, even through a tackler, falls forward. It's those extra yards that make a difference in a football game.
There was a quarterback in college football last week that threw a touchdown with his helmet the wrong way, if you remember.
He did do
It was in the FCS football.
Yeah.
This defense anchored by Jeriel Cobb, the corner. And down in the middle, linebacker Aiden Mansfield. 1st and 10, draw. Nice running room. There's 4 quick yards for the other tailback, Tyreek Samuel, the junior. What a nice 1-2 punch.
It feels unfair, I think, when you hear about the 1-2 punches at running back to say, you know, thunder and lightning, and these are the guys. But really, neither one of them's thunder. It's not like they're huge backs. It's really lightning 1 and lightning 2. And pick your poison, because they are both deadly.
2nd and 7, back to lightning. And 2 yards on the ground. Samuel dives forward. The only combo in the entire 3A football, 1,000-yard rushers, and they're leaning on that running game this year.
But they're so instinctual. They've got a great offensive line that complements them well by giving them lanes to run through. But once they get there, it's all up to them to get those extra yards. And they do a great job breaking tackles and getting those yards.
Now 3rd and 4. This time a pass. Incomplete. Looking in the slot for Charlie Deacon. And now a decision here on 4th down.
This is a really long throw, and that's a difficult throw to make to the outside, to the far side of the field, no less. Corner Marquez Horn on that play, really good position to sit underneath the route, make a difficult attempt by Ball to get that football over the top.
Here's the punting unit. Our first look at Anthony Saunders, the senior middle linebacker and punter. This is why I love high school football.
It's all about athletes, Evan. How many athletes do you have? How many guys can do different things that can contribute to your football team winning?
2 drives, a punt, and a fumble. 1 first down for Eastern Alamance tonight. Now a whistle. What do you got for us here, Mike Ward? Again, the penalties tonight have been costly for both teams.
They have, and they just continue to back up. Reedsville a little bit less, obviously. They've got their first points of the game so far, but in search of theirs, Eastern Alamance continues to hurt themselves just by making mental mistakes, and that's not winning football.
Saunders to boot it away. Sharp, ready to receive. That was nearly blocked. And Sharp picks it up. Wait a second. I may need some help here, Mark. Did he call a fair catch there? We'll figure it out after this timeout. Reidsville back with the football, up a touchdown in this first quarter. For those of you who can't see it, closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Caring Hands. Caring Hands Home Health, we understand the happiness of your loved ones is important to their wellness. Just like pillow fighting at the side of a stadium. It's important for overall wellness. You didn't see the kids down there fighting?
Yeah, I can get behind that, yeah.
We got cheerleaders, we got pillow fights.
Oh, that's not a fight, that's a brawl, man.
Like these programs, Reidsville and Eastern Alamance, 8th meeting. Oh, wow, that's a headshot. 2 points. Second drive for Reedsville after a touchdown.
To be young again.
Ali, first down handoff. Nice hole. That's Cobb getting outside. And Cobb's dragged down. 18-yard gain on the first down carry.
Listen, Cobb is a guy in the season opener, 12 carries, 165 yards, 13.8 yards a carry. This is a guy who can tote the rock, gets hurt in that first game, has to come out for the last 2 weeks. Now he's back. You see that explosion is right there. Look at the elusiveness down the field.
Cobb thought he was tackled out of bounds after that Crescent Ford first down.
Trying to lobby, playing the smart game, right? Playing a little bit of that mind game with the refs. And think about it.
Here's flip in motion. First down pass. Completion. Harrison into open space. And he tiptoes out of bounds. A gaping hole for Kendra Harrison.
Pretty sure they were in the same exact play on their first drive that went for a touchdown. And Harrison was wide open. That time threw his hand up. Lee sees him down the field, and they do it again. And then once he has the football in his hands, watch out. I mean, a big man, just that wingspan, able to keep defenders at arm's length. Just watch here. Just nope. Not you, not you. And it extends to get a yard or two more.
Such awareness.
I mean,
for a sophomore.
The instincts just put the football out. That's football smart.
He sets up at the edge of the line of scrimmage here on 1st and 10. Lee fires. Incomplete. Right through the hands of Janiah Sharp. And in came Michael Tinnen there, ready to lay the lumber.
It's a tough throw. You're trying to squeeze that football into a tight window. You know that safety is coming down to lay that hit. Just a little too tall that time. Give his receiver a chance to go up and make that play. Sharp would have taken a licking, but at least give him an opportunity to come down with that catch.
Reidsville 100 yards of offense in this first quarter. Harrison has 50 of those. Doing it all, the 6'7" sophomore tight end. Eastern Alamance, meanwhile, only 1 first down, and penalties have deflated those drives. Here's 2nd and 10. Screen. Big hits. There's the biggest man in North Carolina, Peyton Wright, laying the lumber.
Again, just the instincts. And we could talk about it all night long, how well he plays the linebacker position, but it's not just that. He's a football player. I mean, look at him come downhill, makes a sure play. Eyes up, see what you're tackling. Man, Peyton Wright is coming for you. You are almost never going to get away from number 10.
Led the state in tackles last year and looks even better as a senior.
What was it, 177 last year? I mean, you got to understand what that is to high school. That is
13 games.
A ton of tackles.
Setting up 3rd and 8. Lee throws. Harrison the catch. Taking not 1, not 2, but 5 with him to the 25-yard line. That's a big Crescent Ford first down.
I mean, look, really, what do you do here? Because you have them in a position where you're bringing the blitz, you think you got everyone covered, and then just a quick slant straight over the middle to a 6'7" target. He not only just takes the first hit and keeps on going, but falls forward yet again for more yards.
That's a man amongst boys who's not even old enough to drive. And he is driving the Eastern Alamance defense.
When you've got weapons, use them. And right now, Reedsville is in full control.
First down. Here's a deep shot. Looking end zone. Incomplete. Just past Janiah Sharp. If you have a tight end like Kendra Harrison, why not throw it to him every time if you're Ali?
And it seemed like there may have been some miscommunication on that play too, because Kendra Harrison was also within the same vicinity as Sharp down the field. I'd like to think that one was intended for Sharp, but you just really don't know with a guy of that stature also running down the field.
There's head coach Eric Teague, the longtime offensive coordinator of 11 years. Now the head coach replacing his father. 5 wide on 2nd and 10. Lee fires, tipped, nearly picked, and there you go.
Interception, Peyton Wright. The tackle leader in the state gets a monstrous turnover.
I mean, just tracking the football down the field. He doesn't just tackle people. He comes up with turnovers. Peyton Wright watches the football the whole way down the field, gets up to make that play, and returns it for some more yardage. There are some athletes on this field tonight. Look at that deflection off the face mask of one of his teammates.
The triple doink. Whoa. Reedsville bringing the wood. That's Devin Shyrock.
Pendulum swinging right now. Momentum shifting back and forth. We got a higher energy football game here as the first quarter is winding down.
Both these teams are physical tonight.
Yes, they are. But when you get rivalry games at the high school level, this is what happens. They're both 3-0. Somebody's going to lose that mark here tonight. Who's it going to be? Right now, Reedsville's playing a physical game, but Eastern Alamance is not going down without a fight.
Outside catch. Little room here to run. And Deacon is short of the first down. He gains 8. Let's see if they can get one more playoff to end the quarter. And that'll do it. Eastern Alamance defense keeping the Eagles in this game. Big interception by Paul Wright. And now we go to the second quarter. Low-scoring defensive battle here in Mebane. Fantastic news for the winning row. Everyone in tonight's winning row, they get free tickets to the Carolina Classic Fair. September 29th, October 8th, the Carolina Classic Fair. There's magic in the air. And I also heard it's fraternity night, frat night at the high school here in Eastern Alamance. Don't tell that guy with the hoodie on and the beanie. He's having a blast. 3rd and 6 for Jason Ball. Eastern Alamance has not been able to move the football. 0 for 2 on 3rd down. Opening play of the second quarter. Ball out of the pocket. Ball takes his shot and finds his man. Break of tackles. And what a conversion. Getting the job done with his back against the wall. Tyron Wiley, the senior.
What can you say about this throw? Gets outside the pocket, avoids pressure, and makes a throw almost coming back across his body a little bit. What a play by Ball to get that football down the field.
There's a first down run. What a gaping hole. Touchdown, Josh Murray.
That was a 20-yard scamper for the Riddle Tractor touchdown.
Just like that, 2 plays, this offense finds its groove. That's what we're waiting for in the first quarter. They can strike quick too. Ball finds a receiver down the field, and just like that, Murray, a flash into the end zone.
Well, that took no time at all. 21-second drive for number 21. That's Josh Murray's 4th rushing touchdown.
It's a versatile offense. They can grind the football out, take those long drives, or they can strike just as quick as they did there, if not faster.
And remember, Eastern Alamance went for 2, so this is now for the lead. And Reagan Sawyer, the senior kicker, comes in. The holder is Charlie Deacon. The snapper is Peyton Wright. And that is right down the middle, but we have a flag.
That's a false start on the kicker.
That's one of the rare positions you see a false start, the kicker typically.
He took 1 step forward, right?
You take 3 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
Quick
This
like
time.
a turtle, and you lie on your back.
So this time, what, 1 step forward, 5 steps back?
Reagan Sawyer missed 2 extra points last week, and we asked John Kirby about it. He said his confidence is at an all-time high, but this is his first year as the full-time kicker.
Growing pains.
Noted as a true perfectionist, will master the craft of the pre-kick routine. You sort of see it before this kick. Now for the lead. And there you go. Reagan Sawyer's 1 for 1. And what a response. A 21-second drive, basically 2 plays to score a touchdown.
I mean, really, again, this offense can attack you in so many different ways. And just look at the burst from Murray. He saw that hole open up, and he was gone. Breaks the 1 tackle and doesn't get touched until he's into the end zone.
And Janiah Sharp tried his best to slow him down, but really nothing there.
Yeah, I realized he was trying to get into the end zone too. Lucky that it may have not drawn a flag as well. If Murray goes to the ground there, that probably draws another 15 yards on top of that on the kickoff.
Murray ran for 94 yards last week, putting on a show for the home Eastern Alamance Eagles, who have started 3-0. This is really odd. 10 straight years, or 9 of the last 10, if you count the COVID season, but haven't been 4-0 in that stretch. How do they get over the hump tonight?
Got to beat your biggest rival potentially, right? The guys on the other sideline that took you down last year when they also came into that game 3-0. So it's a challenge for them tonight. Kind of put your demons to rest. Go against a team that has just as much history as anyone within the state. And right now they got that 1-point lead off the feet or the arm of Jason Ball and the feet of Josh Murray.
Let's go, D.
So Reagan Sawyer, the perfectionist, he certainly works to the beat of his own drum on these kickoffs. The Hayes Jewelers kickoff, King of Diamonds. This is returnable. Coming out is Corey Rhodes, and now he hands it off. Look at this return to the 35, and a flag down after the big hit. We've got a lot to figure out here, Mark. That was Janiah Sharp on the return.
You can see this game's starting to get a little chippy, right? Rivals going at each other, trying to send a statement. Eastern Alamance bouncing back. Just got to be careful. Keep the cool head here. Make sure you're playing good, clean football. Don't hurt your team by making useless mistakes and really just not smart penalties. It's hard. When you're in a game like this, to control your emotions, it's more difficult.
So, Rebecca, let's go down to you. What's going on, Rebecca?
Well, obviously, the Eastern Alamance side not happy about that one, but you guys mentioned earlier about last year's game, and we talked with head coach John Kirby, who said last year was a learning lesson for his quarterback Jason Ball, and Jason admittedly told me that it was his worst game of his career. I played horrible, Ball said. So coming into this game, he has a chip on his shoulder, and he doesn't want to let his teammates down. He considers this a must-win game for his team.
4 interceptions in that game, Rebecca. Great point.
And the only loss in the regular season for the Eagles.
Now it's Reedsville down a point. Al Lee, quarterback run. Nice hole for Lee. And he drags the linebacker right at the sticks. You don't see many quarterbacks drop the shoulder like Cam Newton and power for 8 yards.
Well, and it's really been a power attack. When Al Lee has run the football tonight, it's been straight up the middle. There hasn't been a whole lot to the outside, just getting what yards he can. But again, behind an offensive line that's doing its job blocking, getting him down the field, you can't blame him for just sticking it up the gut.
Lee powered into Peyton Wright. Not just an average linebacker, one of the best in the state.
Strength on strength right there. Your quarterback going up against the best tackler in the state, statistically.
Now 2nd and 2. This time a handoff. Cobb breaks one, and he has the first down. So on the tackle by Peyton Wright and crew, it's a Crescent Ford first down. Pardon me, a Riddle Tractor first down. Riddle Tractor making tall grass short.
Really, really impressed as I hear Ray so far in this game. Just working his way down the defensive line from the backside of that play and makes the play initially for a couple of his teammates come over to help him out, bring the ball carrier Cobb down.
Remember, Paul Weiderman, the number 2 back, is out with an injury. So Jeriel Cobb, back from an ankle injury, returns tonight. It is all hands on deck. First down, deep toss, caught, flipping. He is flipping all over the field. What a snag for nearly 50.
Just a confident throw down the field as well, working his way down the sideline, flipping, gets position behind his defender, and really give it out to Al Lee that time. A perfect pass down the sideline. It's a good catch, keeping his feet in bounds as well. Good awareness of where he was on the field for flipping.
That's a college catch, both feet in. Remember, flipping out with a shoulder injury the first 3 weeks.
Timmy's guy feels like he has to atone for that. Come in and make a statement.
1st and goal. Quarterback throws. Harrison knocked away. Oh, I don't know about that one. Ruled pass interference on Deshaun Hairston. Take me through that, Mark.
Well, unless the officials saw something from the backside, where there was maybe some grabbing on the backside of Harrison, it looked like pretty clean coverage up here from us in the booth.
What do you got for us, Mike Ward?
Yet again, a good
holding on the defense.
And you're just in a situation where you're maybe holding on for dear life, no pun intended there. But against that 6-7 target, not just in the red zone, inside the 5, you got to do everything you can to survive.
Sets up a 1st and goal. Lee, keeper. Lee scrambles. Lee sacked. Peyton Wright brings him down.
So if you're keeping track at home, we've got tackles for Peyton Wright. We've got now a sack for Peyton Wright. We've got an interception for Peyton Wright. I mean, what can he do wrong? Nothing right now, just tracking down Lee. Him and a couple of his Eagles teammates swarm to Lee and bring him down in the backfield for a huge sack.
The 4-year starter, Peyton Wright, huge stop on 1st down.
I mean, there's playmakers all over the field in this one, Evan. You were seeing them right before our eyes make play after play.
2nd and goal. Lee scrambles, has to throw it out of bounds. Now 3rd and goal. He was targeting Kendra Harrison, but Kendra couldn't get open.
And you're seeing that's exactly where they're trying to go with this football. Eastern Alamance is having none of it. They are shutting that down, putting multiple defenders on him, forcing Lee to find someone else. This time just makes a smart play, throws the football out of bounds, lives to play another down.
Lee started this game 8 of 10 passing. Now up against it inside the red zone.
And not just that, but now backed up after that sack. You can't really run the football here. This is a passing down for all intents and purposes.
3rd and goal. Whistle. And this might be an extra 5 yards against Reedsville. How about that? False start in the red zone.
Talked about it already a couple times in this broadcast, Evan. Those penalties right now on both sides, no less, are really bringing these offenses down. When they're moving the football, you cannot have these mistakes take place where you're just giving up free yards.
So this is 3rd and goal. Now 3rd and 17 yards. Lee out of the pocket. Lee hits.
What pressure. And there's Javante Petit forcing fourth down. Pardon me, Zaire Ray forcing fourth down.
The effort from Ray tonight has been exceptional. Just watch him from the backside, beats his block off the side in the closing speed to get to Lee before he can get that football off. Throwing under duress. What a play again by Ray.
Reidsville electing to go for it. Grady Barrett, the kicker, his range is about 30 and in. So 4th and goal. Big 4th down. Some confusion before the snap.
Lee, 4th down. Time, throws, incomplete. Great coverage by Tinnen.
Absolutely perfect coverage on the back end. Flash, the receiver is open that time. Harrison finally gets a look since that first play inside the 5. And just what closing speed and coverage to break on that football, get a hand up and knock it away from Harrison. I mean, you cannot get any better. That is textbook coverage on the back end on 4th down.
We have a whistle here. Closed captioning for tonight's game is being brought to you by Caring Hands at Caring Hands Home Health. We do our best to make your loved ones feel like they're being taken care of by our family. How about the hands of Michael Tinnen? That saved a touchdown there.
I mean, seriously, you cannot coach that up any better. They're going to watch film this week, and they're going to come to that play and say, what a huge play it was. But not just that, technique-wise. You cannot ask more from a guy than breaking up that play. Tinnen with perfect coverage in the perfect situation.
Eastern Alamance back to work. And another whistle. That's a false start.
You see the intensity, right? It's getting to the kids a little bit here.
We have 10 combined penalties tonight.
Oh, exactly. And it's getting to them a little bit to a point where they're getting anxious. You're getting a little frustrated with what's going on. Just play football, man. Stay within yourself. Play within yourself.
Wait, play football like the goal behind him, or play football like that one in front of him?
Football, not football.
1st and 15. Ball, the handoff. Wow, nowhere to go for Tyreek Samuel. And he's hit hard by the long blonded hair of Aiden Mansfield.
Reedsville's going to make a conscious effort to stop this running game. That's where it's got to start. Jason Ball, as good as he is and was last year, you got to put this football game in his hands and force him to go out and win a football game against a team that he struggled mightily against last year.
Now 2nd and 13. Screen, pressure, catch, broken tackle. And finally, Douglas Cottrells is brought down. Mansfield in on there again.
Well, it was telegraphed really well, and Reedsville did a good job of just sitting back and waiting on the screen to take place. Mansfield sniffed it out initially, didn't make the tackle, but slowed up Samuel just long enough for his other defenders to get there and help bring the ball carrier down in Samuel.
Stay tuned for the My 48 halftime report. We'll have this week's Scholar Athletes, interviews, first half highlights, and more coming up at halftime. 3rd and long. Lets it fly. Caught. Now a race to the sticks. 1st down out to the 38. Clutch conversion. Douglas Cottrell sneaks away.
A clutch throw from the quarterback spot. Look at the way Jason Ball puts it right there. Mansfield is there, hand fighting the whole way down the field. Just a perfect throw out in front. What a throw and catch.
That's a little tractor 1st down. High snap. Cottrell's again. Can't break this tackle. Falls down with good coverage. And now a flag. Oh, is that a late hit on Marquez Horn?
It certainly seems like that. Just a little bit too excessive.
And Cottrell's is exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're supposed to do there if you're Marquez Horn.
It's a tough call. I mean, realistically, it's a tough call because as a defender, you're just continuing to go and go and go. You don't know that he's down. You're just instinctually going.
That's tough. Push at the end, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
So Horn stays out there, the senior DB. And now a 1st down for Eastern Alamance after the touchdown drive. 1st down handoff. Here's Samuel breaking loose. Samuel drags to the
33. That's a hard-earned 15 yards.
You can see it, right? These running backs, you got the power of Samuel, the speed of Murray. These two complement each other so well when they come out of the back.
Uh-oh, ball boy, get out of the way. We got a race here on first down. The snap is off. Samuel moves to the 30. And he's spun down by Kendra Harrison. How has the running game become a factor for Eastern Alamance?
Well, it gives you leverage. And really right now, this game has swung back into their favor. Touchdown drive, fourth down stop inside the red zone. And now you're driving yet again into Reedsville territory. But they have seized control, and that's because they've run the ball and had great play calling.
Second down. Ball fires, tipped, incomplete. Ooh, there's Harrison at 6'7", living in the dreams of ball.
So not only does he catch the football, he plays defense as well. And what a perfect spot for him, that defensive end spot. Just get those big paws up there.
Oh, that's Julius Peppers playing in the secondary.
I mean, my goodness. My goodness. A really good play, actually, on the back end, that one by Rogers. Just turn it to a defensive back and try to knock that football away.
Now 3rd and 7. Oh, my gosh, the whistles are blowing all night. That's another false start. I know the bright lights of Hollywood may play a factor, but how do these kids keep their composure for both teams?
Well, it's going to be a talking point at halftime. It absolutely has to be, and a coaching point. Like, guys, look, we're keeping ourselves in this game on both sides. We are in this football game, but we've really got to lock down and stop making these mistakes mentally.
You see John Kirby in year 33 as the head coach. He noted penalties and turnovers. Big issue last year against Reedsville. Now 3rd down. Play action. Whoa! That could have been picked. And Rhodes dropped it. It's 4th down.
Man, oh man. Looked really good for Reedsville for a second. Looked really good for Eastern Alamance for a second. And the ball just falls harmlessly to the ground. Ball trying to zip it in there. And that deflection was
and then
just
Cottrell's nearly has the tip drill here.
Yeah, I mean, the deflection was just enough by Corey Rhodes.
This is out of field goal range. So what do you do here on 4th down?
No man's land. Maybe try to draw a penalty, give yourself a chance.
This is 4th and 12. Ball steps up, slings it, completes. That's a 1st down for Charlie Deacon. Now that's a college football throw there from the senior quarterback.
It sure is. Just an excellent throw. Steps up. You see the presence there. Steps up, makes a strong throw down the middle of the field. Good presence in the pocket, and delivers a strong ball to the deep threat of this offense in Charlie Deacon.
That's a little tractor 1st down. Now on the ground, Samuel bounces off one. Samuel inside the 15. That'll remind fans at Eastern Alamance of Austin Bryant, the former starting quarterback who threw for 80 touchdowns and won a state title here at Eastern Alamance.
I really have liked what I've seen out of Jason Ball tonight. Has the turnover for this offense early on, and has, for the most part, played a really good, well-rounded football game so far here. A stark contrast to what we saw the last time these teams met up last year. He's done a really good job in moving past that.
2nd and 7. Ball throws, intercepted. Changing the game, Marquez Horn with the pick.
Horn had the penalty earlier in this drive, and atones for that mistake. Just again, another long throw to the outside, and if you're gonna make that throw, it's gotta be far, where only the receiver can get it. Just a mistake that time. Horn sits on it and makes the play.
That time, Horn makes the pick, and we'll take the timeout. Reedsville keeps this a 1-point game. We'll finish up the first half after this, our Carolina Classic Fair game of the week.
Ed Beatty complex. Eastern Alamance on top of Reedsville 7-6. Well, we talked about our head coaches, and Jimmy Teague, although he has retired, he hasn't gone far from retirement, and he can't get enough of Reedsville Rams. He's still working and molding young minds, and recently, guys, his new retirement job is teaching driver's ed. That includes early mornings at school, and then every afternoon you can still find him on the football field. His football field, in fact, has his name on it, but this is a fair warning to the good citizens of Reedsville to watch out on the roads for Coach Teague and driver's ed.
Thanks, Rebecca. Coach Teague, an 8-time state champion. Here's an end-around run with some potential. Moving his, whoa, look at this run to the 30-yard line. Out of nowhere, the flash of lightning bringing the bull for flipping.
Has one touchdown tonight as well, and now you see the end around, the vertical speed just gets the edge, and once those corners turn, or those shoulders turn to upfield, it's a foot race from there. Man, the pursuit again by Eastern Alamance down the field. They're
Every time Flip has touched the football, it's been explosive.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is what they've missed from him. Misses the first 3 weeks, and this is a guy in the offense that really opens things up. He's a downfield threat. You get him in the motions. I mean, everything you want him to do at the wide receiver spot, he can do it.
Down to the 30-yard line on 1st and 10. They're Sharp in motion. Quarterback keeps. Back to Sharp. Little move, one-on-one, stiff arm. And a big chunky yardage there by Janiah Sharp.
Channels a little bit of the inner Marshawn Lynch, right? Throws that stiff arm out there, pulls the defender to the ground. Picks up a nice chunky yards on 1st down to Sharp.
There's a lot of options on this play.
I mean, there really are. Look at that nice stiff arm, the good strength to get upfield. Man, oh man, just when you think you've got them figured out and bottled up, they unleash someone else.
Reedsville on the edge of the red zone. 5 minutes left in the half. This run will do it. Cobb to the 20, Wright brings him down. And now a 1st down to move the chains.
A solid tackle in the open field by the captain of that defense, Peyton Wright. The drive does stay alive, and these chains continue to move for Reedsville. Now, can they finish this drive and get back on the scoreboard?
Led by Al Lee, the 5,000-yard passer as a quarterback.
Just got to stay smart here. No penalties. That's been their bugaboo here tonight.
1st and 10. Handoff. Cobb. Nowhere. Just a gain of 2. And we have an injured player now for Reedsville. That was the running back. We'll take a quick timeout and check in on Jeriel Cobb. Come back for the rest of this 1st half when we return to Mebane. 1-point game. That was Jeriel Cobb, the injured tailback, coming out of the timeout. He'll be evaluated by the training staff. Coming up at the My 48 halftime report, we'll have this week's Scholar Athletes, interviews with the principals, highlights, and more from a surprisingly low-scoring game here in Mebane, North Carolina.
It's been a combination of mistakes, whether it's turnovers, to penalties.
To frat night.
Are you insinuating frat night was a mistake?
2nd and 8. Lee throws, end zone shots, incomplete. Wanted Harrison. Good coverage by Amari Bynum, who's 5'9", guarding the big man, Cameron Jones.
What a throw into double coverage. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. You're putting that ball right where it needs to be to give Jones a chance. Just could not come down with that football. Really tight coverage by Eastern Alamance at the back end.
One red zone turnover for Reedsville tonight. Let's see here on 3rd and 8.
You wonder, is this 4-down territory as well?
Flip in motion. 3rd down scramble. Lee backs up. Lee goes down. That's a sack for Zier Ray, his 3rd of the night.
Man, oh man, this kid came to play tonight. Hustling off the edge, tracking down ball carriers, sacks. Aplenty for 53 in goal. What a night. And the first half he is having here. Just watch the instincts, bottles up Lee. And he may have had some receivers in the end zone. Maybe Harrison, if he just anticipates the ball, throws it up.
And this is out of field goal range now for Reedsville. Reidsville has to get to the 10-yard line to move the chains.
Exactly. They still pick up a first down.
This is 4th and long. Pressure on Lee. Lee flings it nowhere. And a 4th down stop for Eastern Alamance. I'm not sure where that pass was going.
I don't think Lee knew what the down was. You can't just throw the football out of bounds like that. You've at least got to throw it up to somebody. Even if it's intercepted, it's back even further. Give someone a chance to go make a play.
There's Eric Teague, the longtime OC and quarterbacks coach. That'll be an important halftime for Reedsville's offense.
Man, what a play. A mental mistake that time by a veteran quarterback, no less. Lee just may have not known the distance.
First down handoff, Joshua Murray. Ooh, look at Murray still going. He turns nothing into 8 yards on first down before Jaden Slade brought him down.
Not just nothing. I mean, he was stuck right at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. Excellent effort by Murray.
Back to Murray. In the backfield down. Good pursuit by the DN, Devin Shyrock.
See, again, put this game in the hands of Jason Ball. Blitzing inside, brings down Murray in the backfield.
Where's the urgency from Eastern Alamance? There's 3 minutes left.
Well, run your offense. They know they're explosive, but you got to start looking down the field to take some shots. You can't be as conservative as they are right now running the football. Reedsville's selling out to stop it.
Sets up 3rd and 6. Handoff, Murray, outside, nowhere to go. And Murray's short. He'll need 4 more here on 4th down.
I wonder if this is a situation where they may think about going for it. Strong run by Murray, just not enough.
What a great tackle, too, in the secondary.
Well, a great tackle, but Murray still falls forward for several yards. I think they're going for it.
And Reedsville's not using a timeout. Why?
Maybe milk it down as much as possible, see if you can get the ball down the field. They still have all their timeouts. Maybe save those for the offensive side of the ball.
Second punt for Anthony Saunders. He booted it 40+ his first time. No one's back for Reedsville. And the punt was tipped. Gets a nice bounce. So just over a minute and a half left. And Reedsville will now have to go 75 yards.
Now you're either pushing the football down the field or you're aiming around the sidelines. You still have those 3 timeouts to work with. Just depends on how you want to deploy them. If you're going to go down the middle of the field, that would be a great time to try.
There's the leading tackler in the state, Peyton Wright, against one of the most explosive arms in North Carolina, Al Lee. 72 touchdowns the last 2 years.
I have been impressed by some of the defensive capabilities in the passing game for Eastern Alamance tonight. So many weapons offensively for Reedsville. They've done a good job here for the most part of bottling all those weapons up.
Including the 6'7" tight end, Kendra Harrison in the slot. This is first down. Throws it outside. That's Marquez Horn. Little juke. And he spun down. Just a 5-yard gain. And the clock still ticks. Where's the urgency for Reedsville?
I don't know the urgency is for either team right now. Or a good move inside, but stays in bounds. You would think they'd call the first time out.
We got a minute left in this half in a 1-point game.
And there's not really a rush to get up to the line of scrimmage either.
Instead, we hit the final minute. Lee Screen, Harrison dropped. So that'll stop the clock. But now it's 3rd and 5.
Don't have to use a timeout. There's an incomplete pass, right?
But Mark, this drive started at the 1:35 mark. You wasted 40 seconds.
On effectively one play, because the second play went for no yards. Lasted all of, what, 5 seconds?
Here's a 3rd down after the Alamance punt. Remember, these are 2 undefeated squads, both 3-0, and both get ready for league play next week. 3rd down. Lee with pressure, backpedals, way past his target. He was looking for Harrison, and now 4th down.
Just a little bit too much on that one. Going to the outside. Lee did a good job of getting his way off the left side of the field, away from pressure. Just a little bit too far outside of the extended frame.
And guess who? Peyton Wright is in coverage.
Exactly.
The senior captain, class president. He's got some big roles in the middle of this defense.
Tell you what, it's been a slugfest tonight.
And now the timeout by Reedsville. I don't understand that one. So Eric Teague talking it over with his offense.
And now you hand the football back. I mean, realistically, as long as they're aggressive and they have to understand where they are in this game, with what, roughly 40 seconds left in the first half, Eastern Alamance, with all of its timeouts, now has a chance to go down the field and put points on the board before the half again.
Both teams with 3 and outs in the last, what, minute and 10 seconds?
It is the beauty of high school football sometimes, Evan.
Eric Teague noted, as the head coach this year, the time management, the situations, the things he didn't think about as the QB coach or the OC. Now as the head coach run through his mind.
Well, I mean, it's a lot more responsibility. Of course, you take over not just one side of the ball, but you're over everything. And you're that guy that is making sure that everything else is going the way it should.
How about that? Your Carolina Cowboys fan cam, the Carolina's professional bull riding team. What? September 22nd at the Greensboro Coliseum. Sign me up, Mark. The Cowboy way.
You go bull riding?
Or the frat way. Here's the punt. Low boomer from Cobb. It actually goes pretty far. It's about 43 seconds to work with. And now Shyrock, after the big boot, will put on his defensive end gloves. I love high school football. What do you want to see here from Jason Ball and this offense on the last drive?
Pushing the ball down the field. No pun intended there either with the quarterback in his name. But getting the ball down the field, you've got 3 timeouts to work with. Right now, it does not matter where that football goes on the field, to the sideline, middle, wherever. Just get it down the field to some of your guys in open space and let them go to work.
There's another flag. I don't know where that false start was, but it'll back up Eastern Alamance. How much of a factor are penalties in this first half? 9 penalties.
Massive. We're talking about several scoring drives that have been affected by penalties. Some of them have ended in points. A lot of them have not, because these teams have made those mental mistakes.
So it's 1st and 15. Dropped by Kittrells, who's talking to his quarterback between plays. That's the sophomore receiver, the senior quarterback.
Right where it needs to be. Honestly, a pretty good pass by Ball. You want to get your receiver going upfield on those screens. Cottrell just couldn't bring it in.
So it's 2nd and 15. Handoff. Samuel. Nice hole. Samuel trucks him in to the original line of scrimmage at the 30. But here we are, 30 seconds left. There's 30 seconds in the half. Eastern Alamance not using a timeout. I don't know, 17 seconds.
I think they're going to let it. Nope.
Here's the 3rd down, and the pressure gets there. Shyrock got him first. Galloway came in next, and that'll end the first half. You have the ball with 45 seconds, and not much happened there on the ground.
And all 3 timeouts. All 3 timeouts for both teams.
Now, did Reedsville get a timeout in? I think Reedsville called one, but how much time's left is the question. think the ref is holding up 3 fingers. Yeah, 3 seconds left.
I mean, a minute and a half.
Both teams
Reedsville
get
gets the ball with a minute and a half left. They don't call any timeouts, go 3 and out, punt it back to Eastern Alamance with 43 seconds left. And they have a quick pass and 2 runs.
So this is essentially the last play of the half, which now means Eastern Alamance brings out its offense to go for it here on 4th down.
I just do not understand.
What's the game plan here for offense?
Chuck it. Throw that football down the field, and you're putting up a Hail Mary situation here. I just don't understand. I'll be completely honest with you, Evan. That's really poor clock management at the end of the first half by both sides.
Yeah. So there's 3 seconds left. Getting the clock situated. There we go. Here at Fred Brady Complex, what could be the final play of the first half. Alongside Mark Covert, Rebecca Fiorentino, our sideline reporter. I'm Evan Budrovich. Here we go, last play of the half. All out blitz. And that ends the half with a loss of about 20. Well, neither team great with the clock management. We'll see how that changes in half number 2 in a tight game here at halftime.
Well, they've got to clean a lot of stuff up here after the first half. And we've talked about it at near nauseum at this point, but the penalties and a few turnovers have really stopped both of these teams from putting more points on the board. Outside of that, it's been exactly as we thought it would be. It's a tight game, a slugfest. And just something that both these teams are looking for to refine in the second half. Move to 4-0.
Let's go down to Rebecca.
Well, Coach, Reedsville gets on the board first. What did you like about the way your team responded in the second quarter other than that interception?
I thought our defense has played extremely well. We've been, but we hadn't broke, you know, and they've moved the ball, and we seem to find a way to stop them. We got to eliminate the turnovers. 2 turnovers in the first half when we're driving, and that could be possibly 2 scores, and it's going to be a dogfight to the end.
What about those penalties? What would you like to see cleaned up there and the talking point with your team?
It's just mental stuff. You know, mental stuff, exciting in a big game. They just got to concentrate on what they're doing, and hopefully it'll clean that up.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thank you, Rebecca. Low scoring first half. Penalties aplenty, and we got some good fans here. Taking our halftime break, come back with more next.
Throughout the 2023 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals season, Bojangles will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each participating school with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Bojangles Scholar athletes are from Eastern Alamance High School, Charlie Deacon. Eastern Alamance's Charlie Deacon plays varsity football and golf and was named last week's Farm Bureau Player of the Week. Charlie is on the AB Honor Roll and on Student Council. In Charlie's free time, he coaches at youth recreational football camps, volunteers at his church, and assists at Field Day for elementary schools. He holds a 3.625 GPA and is a college commit at the University of Montana. And from Reedsville High School, Paul Weiderman. Reedsville's Paul Weiderman is a four-sport athlete playing football, baseball, swimming, and track. He is the senior class vice president on the National Honor Society and a member of FCA. Paul volunteers for the Reedsville Area Foundation and Stuff the Bus back-to-school program. He holds a 4.21 GPA and is a college commit at Lafayette College of Easton, Pennsylvania. Charlie, Paul, and other nominated students are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Bojangles. Bojangles proudly gives back to our community and is honored to be the sponsor of the Friday Night Rivals Scholar Athlete Award.
Well, congratulations to our Bojangles Scholar athletes. We're here in Mebane, North Carolina. Rebecca Fiorentino now joined with a celebrity, Suzanne Simpson, the principal for Eastern Alamance. And your team's winning here this first half. This team is also 3-0 to start the season. What's impressed you most about this football team and the community support?
You know, we're heavy seniors, and we just gone through a redistricting in our zone, and the way that our senior players have really taken the underclassmen in and the students from other schools in, and they've really formed a family really quickly, and that's the thing I love about Eastern. I mean, we pack the stands, we travel well, but not just for football, for academics, for the arts. We show up and we show out, so I'm excited.
And we came in here today. There's some construction going on your facility, on your complex. What can you tell us about some details with some changes on their way? I'm sure our guys Mark and Evan are excited about it too, with some changes.
Very much, very much. So we've got a new press box coming in. It's been a long time coming. We're very fortunate that one of our local state senators, she got us a grant, and then our county commissioners kicked in the rest of the money so that we could be able to have a safe facility here as well as a better place to sell concessions out of. So I'm really excited about that.
Well, I'm sure our play-by-play and our color analysts, Evan and Mark, are excited for that new box. Well, summer is coming to a close. We can feel it in the air. Fall is in the air. What is the best part about this time of year? Not only football, but your other athletics going on.
Oh, I mean, it's all happening right now. We haven't been in school yet, so we start on Monday, fingers crossed. I'm excited to get the kids back in the building. We've got all these sports going on right now, and we're just so thankful that all of the people that we play have been willing to work with us on our schedules right now, and it's just awesome seeing the kids come out and seeing them participate.
Well, you've got a great turnout here tonight. That's Suzanne Simpson, the principal of Eastern Alamance High School. We appreciate your time. And coming up after the break, we meet with the opposing team principal, Erica Blackwell. Stay with us on our My 48 halftime report. Welcome back to the My 48 halftime report here from Mebane, North Carolina. We're joined now by Erica Blackwell, the principal of Reedsville, the football capital of North Carolina. Well, we've got some changes on your side as well, with a new head football coach following in his father's footsteps. From your perspective, what's that change been like?
Oh, that change has been awesome. Coach Eric Teague, he's been a part of our program for a long time, first as a player, now as an assistant coach, and now as the head coach. So he's been there to see all of the hard work that goes into preparing our young men, and so he is ready to step right up, and he has done just that.
And his coaching staff is also comprised of almost all former Rams as well. And yourself, you are a Ram yourself. How important is that, and how great is that to see them coming back?
It is awesome. It means so much from the community. It truly takes a village, and Reedsville Rams is a place of huge source of pride in everyone. They recognize that they want to go back and make sure that the young men get some of the same experiences they had. So that's a point of pride for us. And as you said, I'm the class of 1992.
You said it, not me. Well, Jimmy Teague Field as well. With the pressure and the expectations of being the football capital of North Carolina, 22 championships, what does that do for the Reedsville community?
It puts eyes on us. And because of those eyes on us, we have been able to, from the ground roots, raise a lot of money for our field, and also our commissioners, our school board have supported us with our track. Lowe's Hometown Project, we have a brand new concession stand. So the football team and any other successful program that we have at Reedsville High School, it puts attention on us, positive attention, and other people want to come and be a part of the success. That's why these young men are back here coaching, and that's a part of the Reedsville magic.
Well, we love it. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations the rest of the way.
All right, go Rams.
That's Erica Blackwell, the principal of Reedsville. Well, when we return, we've got a contest for you. We've got highlights and the Carolina Classic Fair message. Stay with us.
Hey, this is DJ Hargrave, Event and Branding Manager with the Carolina Classic Fair, which is coming up soon, September 29th through October 8th. And honestly, you can expect a lot of the great fair traditions that we're used to seeing at the fair. Of course, we have the grandstand concerts, all the fair foods that everyone loves. We have the rides that everyone loves as well. But we also have some new plans for this year. We have some new specials in place that especially I believe that the middle school, elementary, and high school students and parents will love this year. So it's important for the Carolina Classic Fair to support high school football because We support all of the school systems surrounding, the Northwest region of North Carolina. We are the second largest agricultural fair in the state, and a huge part of that is because of the support of families, students, and parents of the school systems in Forsyth County and beyond. And in fact, we're doing something special this year for students of the surrounding areas, especially Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system. So this year we have school day for the fair for Monday. Now, we always have school day at the fair, but this year we're adding in something new. And that new addition to school day this year is that you can donate 3 school supplies on Monday, October 2nd, which is school day, and you'll get free admission to the fair. Thanks for watching the Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals. Again, remember the fair is this year, September 29th through October 8th. We cannot wait to see you there. Enjoy the rest of the game, and we'll see you at the fair.
Well, thank you, DJ Hargrave, with the Carolina Classic Fair. We've got our favorite pretzel stacking contest going on right now. Jada and Kingston, 2 students from Eastern, are our competitors. The pretzel stacking contest, combined with other great food, fun games, and stuffed animal prizes, can all be found at the Carolina Classic Fair, taking place September 29th through October 8th. Make sure to secure your tickets right now. Well, as this pretzel stacking contest is going on, we'll get our winner. But let's kick it back to the guys in the sky with Evan and Mark.
It's pretty fitting with the eyes in the sky part, because we are sitting higher up tonight on top of this hill.
If you look close enough, you can actually...
How many pretzels does she have on the left there? Like, he's cheating, but she's got...
Well, we're close.
3, 6,
Oh,
11?
that's it.
Oh, she won. Oh, look at that, the unicorn. That is a unique skill, stacking pretzels on your head. The Joey Chestnut of pretzel stack.
Ooh, that's a...
The real goat.
The real goat. Joey Chestnut plugging a football game. That's good.
Oh, then she just lost the pretzels. But don't eat those. That's all I've been told. Don't eat those.
No.
Mark, we had some highlights in the first half, but I will say penalties aplenty, especially the 9 penalties for Eastern Alamance. How do these teams clean things up in the second?
Well, it just comes down to limiting mental mistakes. Any coach in America will come back and tell you, if we limit those, we set ourselves up with a chance to win the football game. I mean, you look on the graphic here, Reedsville 6 for 50, and it felt like so much more than that for them. And Eastern Alamance, the 9 for 63. I mean, you really can't take away any summary from that first half without talking about the turnovers. Outside of that, or sorry, not the turnovers, but the penalties. Outside of that, a couple turnovers really halted some drives. You've got a rivalry game where everything's on the line. Big physical play here tonight. They're going tick for tack, toe to toe.
And then you had Flippin with 50 yards, Harrison with 50 yards, and then Wiley came out of nowhere, 2 catches for 50 yards.
Right, exactly. So there's been production. It's just the turnovers and the penalties have really stopped these drives from continuing further and potentially turning into points.
And that's why it's 7-6. It's been hard to score tonight. Last year, this game was in the 30s, back and forth.
Yeah.
A lot of interceptions, a lot of late touchdowns. And let's go down to Rebecca with Coach T.
Well, Coach, how do you handle the pressure that Eastern Alamance has been bringing, especially from that second quarter?
We've been moving the ball, and we've been down to the red zone 3 times and just hadn't put it in the end zone after that first drive. So we got to, when we get down in the red zone, we just got to keep getting positive plays and find a way to score when we get down there. So that's been getting us on his heels. We've been going backwards when we're going down there, so we got to find a way to do better at that.
What was your message to your team at the half?
It's going to the second half is whoever wants it. It's going to be, they're going to be tired. It's going to be a long second half. It's going to be, whoever makes the most plays right here in the second half, as tight as the ball game has been.
Well, thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, we've got the second half coming your way from Mebane, North Carolina, 7-6, Eastern Alamance. Second half coming up next.
Matchup of undefeated teams. Little unconventional, a little sloppy in the first half. Good news, we got 24 minutes to figure this out. Eastern Alamance, one of the powers of 3A football. Third round team a year ago, and Reidsville state finalists. So these teams know how to win. And now they got to find out how to defeat themselves a little bit and play clean in the second half.
Yeah, man, fight your own demons, right? Before you fight the guy across from you, you got to make sure that you are in tip-top shape individually and as a team. And right now, these teams are searching for some consistency on offense in particular.
Now we're searching for our Hayes Jeweler kickoff. Hayes Jeweler of Lexington, the moving sale is going on now. There's a pooch kick short. This is returnable. And a nice run out past midfield. Look at this run down the near sideline. Move it and groove it. Josh Murray cuts back. And Murray gets to the 26. What a return to start this second half.
The electric playmaker in the backfield. One of those two big running backs for Eastern Alamance. Josh Murray, watch the feel for where his blocks are at. Starts in the middle, sets everyone up and bounces to the outside before being brought down by a host of tacklers.
That's like watching Sonic the Hedgehog just groove through some traffic.
Hey.
Not even Knuckles could stop him there.
Oh. Man, there we go. Sonic reference.
I had a busy summer watching movies.
Moving at the speed of sound, right?
Eastern Alamance first down to open the second half. It's the other tailback, Tyreek Samuel, who get 3 yards and is tripped up by the defensive lineman Trey Slade, the freshman.
And this is where, if you're Eastern Alamance in the second half, this is where it's got to go to. Your running backs are the stars of this offense. They are the ones that make everything go and set everything up going forward. It's got to be Murray. It's got to be Samuel here in the second half to take over.
The lone touchdown was on the ground with Murray. Samuel gets it outside, chased by Mansfield. Murray inside the 10. And that's a Crescent Ford first down as he gets to the 9.
Just as Josh Murray had great feel on the kick return, find where his blockers were and where the defenders were, look at the way Samuel breaks this thing to the outside, and it's a foot race. Just getting his shoulders turned up field and getting those yards after that first initial burst. What a play again by the other running back in this offense, Tyreek Samuel.
2,000-yard rushers a year ago. First and goal. This is Samuel. Gets outside and is tripped up. Cameron Jones with a nice tackle.
Just really good penetration that time by this defense. Jones coming up and making that play. Stopped Samuel before he could really get going. Trying to bounce outside again. Just could not find the edge. Good job coming downhill and making that play by Jones.
That's one of the best recruits in the class of 2025. He has national offers already as a junior.
You can see why. The skill is certainly there already.
Here's second and goal. To throw. Ball scrambles. Pressure. Ball moves away and throws it out of bounds. It's third and goal.
Man, oh man, the time that Jason Ball, had back there in the pocket and then extending the play, did everything in his power, but really give credit to the back end coverage this time by Reedsville, walking down those receivers and giving no obvious passing lanes.
That was Jaquez Tynes chasing him for his life, the freshman D-end. Here's third and goal. Handoff Samuel, bounces one. Samuel dives for the touchdown. First score of the night for Samuel extends the lead.
I think that's a drive we have been looking for all night from either side. Mistake-free, go down the field, do what you do best, move the ball, give it to your playmakers. Murray started that drive with the excellent kickoff return, and his backfield mate Samuel finishes it with his first touchdown of the night.
Tyreek Samuel with his 9th rushing touchdown of the year. This kid's come to play. Here's Reagan Sawyer, the man of routine and discipline on the extra point. Ooh, bad snap. And Mark, now it's a 7-point game.
Yet again.
We'll discuss that after this timeout. It's the Tyreek Samuel show in the third, extending the Eastern Alamance lead. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Caring Hands. Caring Hands Home Health. Hands-on, compassionate care around the clock. Oh, we got a whole family here tonight on the hill.
She was just yawning. You can't yawn. That's
At
okay.
Fred Brady Athletic Complex, having a good night.
Yeah.
Eastern Alamance looking to avenge a touchdown loss to Reedsville last year on the road. And now back at home, a 3-0 start, both of these squads.
Great crowd to see it as well. This place is packed out.
Eastern Alamance, one of the best 10 teams in the state at the 3A level. Reedsville, the reigning state runners-up of 2A high school football. And Reagan Sawyer sends away our Hayes Jewelers kickoff. This is returnable for Reedsville. Bouncing off a man, goes flipping. Look at Flip turning the field. Inside the 40. Explosive returns for both teams to open the second half.
Well, they found something in the return game. Both sides just following their blockers. Flippin starts in the middle and almost identical to what Josh Murray did for Eastern Alamance. Bounces it outside, fights off some tacklers, and gets up the field.
And Rebecca Moore on flipping.
I asked Reedsville quarterback Ali how excited he was to have Flip back, and his response was 10 out of 10. I don't think I've ever been more excited. He told me the offense has been more relaxed this week. Ali and Flip, as Al calls them, been together as a quarterback and receiver duo since the 6th grade. They've built a lot of chemistry together over the time period, and Al said it's a blessing to have him back. It's been heartbreaking seeing him on the sidelines to start the year, and now that he's back, we have to take advantage of that.
Rebecca Flip was out with a collarbone injury, and you see that back, that collarbone being evaluated after the kickoff return. What an important piece for Reedsville.
I mean, you really have to think. I think the offense being more relaxed this week in practice says a lot. Because you got a premier playmaker who's back in the system, back on the field, and you know that's another guy that can not just make plays, but really lead this offense in what he does and how he leads by example by making plays.
So Eastern Alamance scores in 5 plays at a halftime. Here's Reedsville on play 2 with 2nd and 4. Lee backs up, runs forward. Lee pump fake and somehow gets it out of trouble. The escapability of Al Lee is something fun to watch.
How did he do that? Realistically, how did he do that? Gets upfield and rolls out to his right. It seemed like he was going to try to dump it off as Peyton Wright was coming up the field towards him, but Ali evades him and then throws the football away. Evasive maneuvers and then a smart decision at the end saves that one.
Al Lee is the real deal at quarterback in the eyes of OC and head coach Eric Teague. He loves what Lee brings to the table.
Again, all the intangibles you want at the quarterback spot, Al Lee has them in spades.
Here's Lee on 3rd and 4. Handoff Cobb. That's going nowhere. And Anthony Saunders, the backup linebacker, with the stop.
Saunders made the play there, but it was disrupted yet again up the middle. Zaire Ray making another play, shedding a block. Get inside, beat the tackle. Excuse me, that's not Ray.
That's Javante Petit in there.
Yes.
Petit and Ray have been everywhere tonight.
They sure have. They've made their presence felt along the defensive line, have impacted this game.
Here's 4th down. This is 4th and about 5. Let's see if Reedsville goes for it. Now 4th down. Lee chucks it towards the end zone. Caught! Guess who? Cameron Jones for the touchdown.
Man, was that pretty. Again, the perfect ball thrown to the end zone. Al Lee threw one to the left side of the end zone the first half to Cameron Jones. Could not come down with it. This time, puts it right in the breadbasket. Number 8 is there to make the play and the touchdown.
1-on-1. Cameron Jones earns his 3rd touchdown. And now Reedsville is going for 2.
I'll tell you what, Evan, I don't know what conversations were had at halftime, but offensively, they've worked out so far. Both teams answering on their first drives of the half.
So here's Janiah Sharp in the shotgun. Jones in motion on his 2-point conversion. Uh-oh, fumble, lob pass, 6-7, tight end, brings it in for 2.
I mean, what else do you say? The snap is dropped, and you just throw the football up there and give it to your 6'7" guy to go up, climb the ladder, and snare it straight out of the air.
That's what Kendra Harrison's on the team to do.
I mean, how do you defend it? How do you defend this offense? How do you defend this pass? You don't. Absolutely perfect ball placement. Cameron Jones, great route to separate, and then here, Sharp just giving his guy a chance to go up and make that play. Harrison comes down with that one as if he wouldn't. And now, swings back in the favor. The Reedsville Rams up by 1.
There's Rebecca with more on Al Lee.
The Rams quarterback Ali began the season at less than 100% following an off-season shoulder injury and then had an middle of the season. This year he enters his senior season fully healthy, and head coach Eric Teague told us with all the injuries the team has had this year, he's been one of the constant that they haven't had to worry about. And Ali told me it's been a big confidence booster. He feels like he's way more prepared coming into this season. The biggest thing he feels like he's grown since last year and worked on during the offseason is his mentality, while also being more understanding of the playbook and being able to read defenses.
That kickoff goes for about 5 yards out to the 30-yard line before being brought down by Grayson Robinson. So each team goes down the field and scores on a quick drive. What's changed for the Eastern Alamance offense?
Is it too much of a cop-out to say everything? I mean, really, on those first 2 drives, no penalties, great job moving the ball within their own scheme, playing within themselves. These offenses came out of halftime renewed, confident it seems, and have played a good brand of football in their first 2 drives.
Jason Ball, 10 of 15 passing, feeds his tailback, and that's Josh Murray, taking not 1, not 2, but 3 defenders with him before Mansfield spins him down, gain of 7.
You know these ball carriers for Eastern Alamance, they're going to fight for those yards. You see Reedsville start to rip at the football a little bit, try to get that football out. Murray's already fumbled once tonight.
That was Murray's 10th carry of the night. The 1,000-yard rusher from last year here on 2nd and 3 gets another. Murray is spun down. Good tackle, Titus Burson. And now we have a couple of men down for Reedsville. The athletic trainer being asked to come out. We'll take the injury timeout. Come back and give you what's going on here in Mebane, North Carolina. 1-point game early in the 3rd quarter. Coming up next quarter, stay tuned to find out who's our Carolina Classic Fair player of the game. We got some options. The Carolina Classic Fair, there's magic in the fair. Good news, defender Javon Harris, who was down, is now back on his feet. The senior who fills in for Paul Weiderman, 2nd in tackles behind Aiden Mansfield, out tonight with a leg injury.
One of the captains as well for this Reedsville Rams team tonight too. So one of those guys that has a presence.
And you see Paul on the crutches there. He's the scholar athlete tonight. A Lafayette College commit, 4-sport athlete. That's a big loss for Reedsville.
It's one of those guys, talked about how much you love high school football because you have the platooning, Evan. That's your ultimate platooner.
Now 3rd and 3. A lot of fullbacks in front of the tailback here.
Ooh.
Juking a spin and a first down for Joshua Murray, who lowers his shoulder like Toby Gerhart of the Jim Harbaugh Michigan days. How do you stop this man?
I like the Toby Gerhart reference. That move right at the line of scrimmage to get upfield was sick. Watch this cut right upfield, bang. Right inside Cameron Jones, just gets upfield. What a move. And then the finish.
This running game has picked up 120 yards now for Eastern Alamance. Play action. Nope, it is a handoff. Bounces off one. Murray is taking everybody. That should have been a loss of 5, and he gets 4 out of it. And there might be a face mask, too.
My goodness, Joshua Murray is running right now almost like a man possessed. He is not going down on first contact. Tyus Burson had him dead to rights in the backfield, locked up, and he just got him off. And all of a sudden just gets upfield.
This will be the penalty here. Let's take a look. Oh, a chop block. 10th penalty for Eastern Alamance.
Wow.
So after what could have been a big nice play on first down, now it's first and almost 20.
Maybe there's a little bit of humidity in the air. We saw Murray kind of ripping his gloves off and throwing them to the sideline, trying to get a better feel of the football.
Here in Mebane.
Yep.
Classes begin next week here at Eastern Alamance. So all football all the time as Murray bounces off one. Ball is loose. Reedsville recovers. First play without the gloves, and Bryson Miller scoops the rock.
Well, and that's the conventional thought. You take those gloves off to get a better feel for the football, to hang on to it tighter, and Murray just cannot hold on to it for the second time tonight. Puts that football on the ground. And a drive that looks so good, especially from Murray's standpoint. Ends again, another helmet on the football.
That was Corey Rhodes.
Sure was. Man, oh man.
Mark, so take me through this. No glove, big problem for Eastern Alamance.
Well, it wasn't even really his hand on the football, just right there again, helmet being put on the football. Great placement to hit that football out, and another turnover for Murray.
Second turnover for Reedsville forced tonight. Now can Ali take advantage, fresh off the touchdown drive. We have a whistle and a flag. So 10 penalties for Eastern. Reedsville's racking up the penalties too. That's the 7th penalty for Reedsville.
Regular stat.
Just mistakes. From Eastern Alamance, this is a pivotal point in the game because the mistakes piled up last year. Can they move on and keep pushing forward?
There's Kendra Harrison in motion on 1st and 15. Out goes Cobb, breaks one. Cobb gets the penalty yardage back and is stopped there by the entire defense, including Davian Wilson, the D lineman, on the stop.
And given the way this game has gone so far, Reedsville really has a chance here to put a stranglehold on this one. Given everything that's gone on, the way that Eastern Alamance has let them hang around in this football game, Reedsville has a chance here to really make a statement and put the onus on this Eastern Alamance offense to not just play better, but play near perfect the rest of the way.
Reidsville forced 5 turnovers in this game last year and won it on a late touchdown in the 4th. Now up 1, here's 2nd and 10. Play action. Lee out of the pocket, throws incomplete. And the pressure of Eastern Alamance has been on a fury tonight.
It sure has, but you can really chalk that one up to coverage. That was a coverage pressure that time, zone coverage that time, just dropping back, and there were no holes, it seemed like, for Ali to throw into. Maybe for a second, one of his receivers streaking across the field. I believe it may have been Cameron Jones, but only for a split second. So the coverage stays firm, doesn't allow a passing lane. Nice defensive effort by the Eagles.
Outside of the 2-point conversion, we have not said Kendra Harrison's name much tonight. The 6'7" tight end right in the slot. So here's flipping in motion. 3rd down, screen, Jones, block, Jones juke. 1st down, Jones to the 16. What a big conversion.
Just a really smart play call too. One-on-one matchup. No one was really even on Jones. On the outside, good time to call a tunnel screen there. Blocker goes outside, and he was off and running at that point. One-on-one with the safety. It's exactly where you want to be. Cameron Jones making his impact felt here in the second half.
Big block by Noah Ware, the right tackle, to break open that play. And now in the red zone. First and 10. Handoff Cobb. That goes nowhere. We've said Javante Petit's name a lot tonight, nearing 10 tackles.
Him and Zaire Ray have been absolutely phenomenal off the edge in this game. They've applied pressure. They've done an excellent job of stopping runs before they can get going here tonight. They have certainly set the tone up front in the trenches for Eastern Alamance. But right now, the pressure is being put on this defense to come away and limit points here.
Now 2nd and 10. Fumble. Quarterback's got it. That's a sack. All 3 D linemen get credit for it, setting up 3rd and long.
They're right there. Johnny's on the spot yet again. Petit and Ray there to converge on it. Ali does an incredible job of corralling that football after a high snap.
This is like watching Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead of the 49ers. This D-line is getting after it tonight. How do you stop them?
Well, they sure are, but you got to change the play call a little bit, and that comes down to your tackles maybe fanning out a little bit, but they've just got to get these guys on the ground if nothing else. If you can't stop them, slow them down, even if it comes down to going with some chop blocks a little bit here. The legal variety, of course.
That's the challenge for Eric Teague's offense. Now 6 sacks for Eastern Alamance.
And these runs don't have a full head of steam. They're stopping at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 12. Have to get to the 9. Going for the end zone this time. Overshoots his target. And no flag. Looking for Janiah Sharp.
It's really nice coverage.
That was Bynum in coverage.
Really tight coverage to the outside. Nowhere for that football to go. Locked down, running a streak into the end zone. It looks like Reedsville again is going to go for it here on 4th down.
The kicker, Grady Barrett, that range is 30 yards. He replaces Ivar DeJean, the reigning starting kicker. Instead, another 4th down. Reidsville must get to the 9. Lee slings it. Dropped. Oh, Sharp lost it. He had a touchdown. Instead, a turnover.
He must have heard safety footsteps coming from the backside. Sharp was right there. Ali puts it right on him, and that is a guaranteed touchdown if he hangs on to the football. But Sharp just hears the footsteps coming, loses concentration, and loses the football.
Oh, right in the breadbasket.
Right there.
Good hit by Harrison on the backside. Hairston.
Just hits him right where it needs to be. Good throw. Just lost focus for half a second. And really give credit again to this Eastern Alamance defense. They have done exceptional all night long, keeping Reedsville, limiting them to as many points as they possibly can. Now, can the offense keep the ball in their possession, go down the field, and put points on the board?
We have a timeout here. Final 4 minutes of the 3rd quarter. And let's go down to Rebecca Fiorentino with more.
Well, guys, after that fumble by Josh, he came over to the sidelines, obviously upset with what transpired, but I can report he did both gloves back on, and he just went onto the field. He did have both the gloves on, so maybe that will be the difference here coming back.
So, Rebecca, those are the gloves I wear at the driving range when it's raining. Those look extra sticky compared to the pink gloves he had earlier.
You need something. And really, most of it doesn't even just come down to whether he's wearing gloves or not. It's about ball security. When you're in between the tackles right now, continue to fight for those yards. But you've got to put both hands on that football, cover it up, so you're not allowing those helmet placements to pop the ball out.
Fresh off the fumble, a 1st down. Indirect handoff to Samuel, who breaks loose. Tyreek Samuel. Samuel scores it. 80-yard touchdown. Tyreek Samuel dekes out the defense to give Eastern Alamance the lead.
What a play call. Fakes it to Murray, comes back inside. A little sweeping action for you, and there was nobody home for Reedsville on the backside. And from there, it's Samuel the entire way. The speed in the open field, it's a foot race, and 30's gonna win that foot race 9 times out of 10. Man, oh man.
That play came out of nowhere. You thought it was going to the other tailback, Murray, and then Samuel sneaks in.
Just a great play call.
Now a 2-point conversion after the huge 80-yard touchdown. Here's Murray, breaks one, spins another, does not get the two-pointer. It's a good tackle there. Man, Eastern Alamance needing a bump. And after that Jaden Slade tackle, it was all Tyreek Samuel here.
You just watch this, fakes inside, goes right back to the inside, the backside, and Samuel was off to the races. Great job blocking up front. And once 30 gets to the second level, he's winning those races.
13 carries, 152 yards. Busy night for Samuel, which could be our West Shore home play of the game. Wink, wink. West Shore home, bringing happiness to everyone's home. That's my vote so far.
I mean, I don't know that there's a better play that we've seen here tonight. But you got to give it up to this coaching staff. That was just an excellent play call in the moment. They've been direct handoffs all night. You know that defense is committing to that first ball carrier. Fake it to him. Have your second guy go to work, and boy, did Samuel ever go to work.
That'll put Eastern Alamance near 200 yards rushing in this game. On a night where Ball has struggled, the running game stepped up.
But you really got to think, it has been on those plays where it's boom or bust. The first touchdown drive was, what, 4 plays? You have a big kickoff return to open up this half, sets up the offense well, they score, and then this time 1 play.
Every scoring drive has been 5 plays or less.
Exactly. So it's been the quick strike ability, but when they've been forced to drive the football, they've made mistakes.
Now to boom this away, Reagan Sawyer. This is returnable. Here's the pitch back, and now flipping. Goes up the middle. Flip, back pedals, like Reggie Bush in the collie. Flip gets tripped up at the 32. Peyton Wright finally gets it. Now I love that kick return. It's here you go, Flip. Now go to work with him.
Yep. Game of game, get it in your playmaker's hands.
Flip flipping, who was out with a collarbone injury the first 3 weeks, is now back. And what an impact. A touchdown tonight and 50 yards rushing on the ground.
You just don't know how the rest of the night's going to play out here, but I'm going to tell you right now, this offense for Reedsville, as they go through the rest of the season, they continue to build that chemistry together. It's going to be must-watch television for sure.
Reidsville's been efficient, but haven't punched it in. 265 yards as a team. But 2 turnovers. Now 1st and 10. Lee pressured off the back foot, finds Jones. And that's a loss of a yard. Nice tackles, Zephaniah Gaddis. Try saying that name 5 times fast.
Not on television.
So forward progress gives him 1.
I really loved what Coach Kirby had to say going into halftime for Eastern Alamance. It's been a bend but don't break defense. They've allowed yards in between the 20s, but once they get inside that red zone, Reedsville has not been able to capitalize. And a large part of that's been the defense for the Eagles.
This Ricky Morton defense gave up 44 points last week in a win over Northern Guilford. What a bounce back effort. 2nd and 9, quarterback run, pressure, down he goes. This defensive line is everywhere tonight. And another sack for Cody Chambliss.
They're just not fooled by what Reedsville is doing right now. They are running to the football. And really, you got to think at some point, Reedsville may want to do something similar to what Eastern Alamance just did on their last offensive possession. Find some smoke and mirrors here. See if this defense is going to be overcommitting and trick them into being out of position.
Here's a 3rd and 9. The D coordinator, Ricky Morton, calls Cody Chambliss a dude. He loves him on the outside. He's playing like one with a big sack. Here's the blitz from Chambliss. Picked up. Incomplete. Wow, Janiah Sharp, he got taken for a turn there. Hope he's okay. He landed awkwardly there after the incompletion. And a big stop by Eastern Alamance. Wow, I'm surprised he's back on his feet. Uh-oh. That's Janiah Sharp, the Burlington transfer. And even the way he went down, that looked like his hamstring got rolled up.
Yeah, it looked a little awkward. Just couldn't really hang on to the football that time, Coach Sharp, and coverage just gets there just in time by Bynum. Just got rolled up.
We hope Sharp's okay, the junior receiver and DB.
I mean, obviously you can see he's walking pretty gingerly.
Yeah, and the way he came down, he got yanked back a bit.
It's always when you see them kind of get rolled up in a way. You really just got to look out for that. And yeah, it's just one of those plays in football that happens. And you got to hope that Sharp comes back.
I want to thank the athletic trainers who will help Sharp there, because that did not look pretty on live look. Here's Shyrock, the punter, off a low snap. Well, he gets hit. That'll be a flag. Now it depends what type of penalty that is.
That's almost certainly roughing the kicker.
Is it running into or roughing?
That's got to be rough.
Which, if it's roughing, that's a first down.
Absolutely. This drives you to stay alive.
What a mistake by Eastern Alamance.
I mean, just the over-aggressive. And again, that's just knowing where you're at on the field, what's going on, the timing you have.
That was Michael Tinnen there.
If you are not 100% sure you've got a chance to at least tip that football and block that punt, you bail out. You do not go after the punter. Just another mental mistake and penalties.
That's a 15-yard penalty, so a first down.
I mean, there's no way he's getting that football.
Yeah, it's inexcusable there for Tinnen.
Just got to be smarter.
That's 11 penalties for Eastern Alamance.
And more so to the point, now the drive for Reedsville is back alive. It has been resuscitated by that penalty.
While we have a minute, stay tuned in the fourth quarter for our Linder Turf and Tractor scoring summary. Stick around long enough, it might be having a lot more scores tonight. You can score a great deal in your next Kubota at Linder Turf and Tractor, coming soon to Greensboro on McConnell Drive off I-40. I could see Peyton Wright on a Kubota tonight. Oh, yeah. Cutting the grass. He cuts the grass at his neighborhood house after school on Saturdays. The leading tackler in North Carolina lays back on 1st and 10. Lee fires deep, has a man, but can't find flipping. Excellent coverage one-on-one.
And I like the officials not throwing a flag there. Both of them are fighting the whole way down the field, just trying to get position. In a game that's been as physical as this one has been, give these guys a little bit of leeway, play a little bit. As long as it's not egregious and obvious, let some contact go down the field if they're battling against each other. Good position to the inside. It's really good position that time.
That's the senior Amari Bynum in coverage.
They've thrown his way tonight. He's been real good. I mean, the coverage has been tight. He's been sound.
Setting up 2nd and 10. Just a 3-man rush for the running game that actually gets nothing out of it. Peyton Wright on the stop. Reidsville cannot get its running game going tonight, which is surprising.
Well, and given how well they ran the football in the first 3 weeks, Evan, you're absolutely right. But this defensive front from Eastern Alamance has heard about it, I'm sure, all week about how well they run the football. They've answered the call here tonight. They have stood tall against this rushing attack of Reidsville.
Reidsville under 100 yards rushing in the 3rd quarter. You do not say that often for a team that averages 150 a night. Here's 3rd and 9. Lee under pressure, backpedals, incompletion, and that's forced by great defensive line pressure.
It sure is, and you're going to get those balls. They're going to get thrown up in the air like that, and at some point, they're going to be put into a position where a defender's going to be able to pick that football off, at least have the opportunity to. Just not a smart pass by Ali there. One of the times tonight where he's just made a bad decision, and thankfully for him, he's fallen incomplete.
You know what's a good decision?
Doesn't really seem like a frat.
We're going to party in the USA. We're partying in Alamance County. Remix. Gotta love high school. Whoa, fumbled snap. Shyrock gets away with it and kicks it 7 yards, 8 yards. Terrible decision. Gives Eastern Alamance the ball inside the 40.
Man, oh man. It's a low snap, a little bit to the right. Can't get a hold of it and just tries to boot it away and nearly whiffs on it almost completely. So for a drive that was kept alive by a penalty, on Eastern Alamance.
Get him next play. Get him next play.
They
Falls
net the
flat
good
and they go
field
backwards.
position. Here's Jason Ball and crew up 5 points. Handoff, Murray, pass,
Whoa,
caught,
whoa, whoa, whoa.
no bobbles, and dropped. Woo. Kittrells couldn't hang on after it slipped through the hands of Deacon. I don't know what happened there.
It was almost a catch, an interception, then a catch, maybe an interception.
Passes caught, picked, caught, dropped.
Oh, wow.
Picked, caught, dropped, almost picked again.
My goodness. Marquez Horn broke on that ball really well, just a little high, and causes the chaos.
Now, Ball has to run out of the pocket, slings it short, incomplete. So 2 helter-skelter plays for Eastern Alamance.
Tough throw, low and down to the outside. When you're on the move like that, you get a little more or less control over where you're putting that football. Get it up in the air just a little bit more and give your receiver a chance to make a toe tap and catch on the sideline.
Ball is now under 50% passing for Eastern Alamance. Here on 3rd and 10. Screen. Kittrells dropped it. And he moved a little too quick before he could catch it. What a tough drive for Eastern Alamance.
Just took his eyes off the ball a little too soon, right? Tries to get upfield. He knows the blocks are there. He knows he's got a one-on-one with one of the safeties coming down. And he had a clean way to get a first down here. Just takes his eyes off the football. I mean, look at that hole.
Good blocking.
I mean, that is a first down for sure, and then some.
Let's see how the punt goes for Eastern Alamance after the fumbled punt by Reedsville.
For a game that has been as competitive as it has been a game of what ifs on both sides.
Here's Anthony Saunders looking for the coffin corner. He gets the corner. Oh no, it's picked up on the 1. Wait a second. That's a touchback? Wait. So if the ball crosses the end zone, but the player is over the line,
that should be a fumble.
It's a touchback.
But it should be a fumble.
Interesting. The ball crossed the plane of the end zone.
No, but he touched the ball first.
But in the eyes of the referee, let's take a look.
He touched it, but he's in the end zone. That's the difference.
In the end zone. Okay.
So that left foot was in the end zone when he touched the football. At that point, it is a touchback.
Now in college, this is not an issue, but in high school,
correct,
it's a little different with the ruling here. Talk about dodging a bullet,
man.
If you're Janiah Sharp. Otherwise, that's the ball at the 1-yard line.
These last couple of plays for Reedsville offensively and special teams have been nightmares.
Bouncing off 1. That'll get back to the original line of scrimmage for Jerry Cobb. No gain. And to end this 3rd quarter about as crazy as you could get in the last 5 plays. We'll take the timeout. Heading to the 4th quarter, I don't know what to expect here at Eastern Alamance, but we got some good football for our Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rivals game of the week.
And welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter. A lot on the line here today. Well, ever since Eastern Alamance quarterback Jason Ball was old enough, he attended the Mebane Rec Kids Camp here at Eastern. The football coaches and players would coach up the kids from an early age, and he always wanted to play for the green and gold. He told me his earliest memory of Coach Kirby was in elementary school. Jason scored a touchdown during kids camp, and Coach Kirby acknowledged him. And as you can imagine, as a young kid being recognized by the head football coach at the local high school, Jason felt like a celebrity. Hey, means a lot at that age, guys.
He's all grown up and now running this offense for Eastern Alamance. Rebecca, great story. Second down pass to Harrison. His first catch since the opening half. And Harrison takes 5 defenders with him for a 5-yard gain.
It's been a little surprising given the start to this game where Harrison had 2 to 3 catches in the first half, the first couple of drives alone. And then since then, outside of the 2-point conversion he caught earlier this half, there hasn't been much. We haven't had much of a reason to spotlight 0 in blue, gold, and white.
That's the 6th catch for Harrison, just over 50 yards.
But if Reedsville has any hopes of coming back in this game right now, they've really got to get him more involved and use him as a mismatch.
1 touchdown opening drive for Reedsville, nothing since in the second half. Here's 3rd and 4. Cobb bangs off one and is short. That's a hard hit by this defensive line. Javante Petit sets up 4th down.
I mean, what else do we say about the job this defensive front has done tonight for Eastern Alamance? Everywhere they've flown around, they've caused chaos, and they're going to do it again here.
Going for it, 4th down. Was there movement? Not yet.
I'm lobbying for it. But
this is a risky spot to go for it on 4th. 4th and 2. Going for it. Tackled short. Eastern Alamance gets the stop. Davian Wilson on the tackle.
They have wreaked havoc all night long up front in the trenches. In a game where both coaching staffs knew this game could be won or lost. Eastern Alamance and its defensive line, its linebackers have stepped up in a huge way.
Look at Big Wilson getting in there.
And it's not just him, it's just at the point of attack. The Eagles have been the more physical team tonight, and it has shown.
So this flips the script. The senior defensive line of Eastern Alamance, really good. And now Jason Ball, who dreamed of playing for Coach Kirby, gets the football.
Talked a little bit in the 3rd quarter about how Reedsville had a chance to put a stranglehold on this game. Now it's Eastern Alamance.
Nice hole, Samuel. He dives forward for at least 4. And all of a sudden, the running game, 28 carries, 200+ yards for Eastern Alamance.
It has woken up certainly here in the second half. One of the teams had to start establishing the run here in the second half to gain some consistency on offense. It's been the Eagles.
2nd down. That handoff goes the long way. Shyrock comes in for the stop.
Just as I say that, right? There's a stop defensively for Reedsville in the backfield. Shyrock just shoots through. Whew. That play had no chance from the get-go.
The center, Sawyer Clayton, says, good luck, my friend.
Just too much speed straight up the middle from Shyrock. Just shoots through the gap and makes a massive play. Brings up 3rd and long.
Shyrock is anything but tonight. Double-figure tackles. And he moves on the inside here on 3rd and 7. Cottrell's in motion. Sneaky handoff. Look at this hole. There's the 1st down. Needed 7, gets 10. Samuel actually gets 8. They'll give him the 1st down.
It's a gutsy little play right there. The 3rd down draw lulled the defense to sleep just long enough to open up a hole. Samuel finds it gaping in the middle of the field and picks up just enough to move the chains.
What if I told you there's a flag coming?
Oh, I believe you.
Would you be surprised?
I would not.
That would be the 12th penalty on Eastern Alamance. Over 100 yards of penalties.
What a killer that is, especially for the play call and how well it worked to pick up the 1st down and continue to keep this drive alive. Now you're looking at a much longer situation. Potentially an obvious passing down.
Another penalty. 300 yards of offense and 120 yards of penalties for Eastern Alamance.
I mean, it's just been false start after false start after false start.
And that'll keep the 33-year head coach John Kirby up at night, who's about as old school as it gets, and he cannot appreciate these penalties.
That's tough. I mean, it's really tough. You just continue to go backwards.
So it's 3rd and 23 after converting the first down. The penalties have backed him up. A draw. There's 5, there's 10. Samuel gets more. Breaking loose, Samuel outside and short. That's ruled down. Tyreek Samuel to the 24. He'll be 5 yards short.
I mean, it's a draw. Again, it worked against Samuel this time, though. It's been the elusiveness and the awareness and the vision to set up his blockers well, dodge defenders, and pick up a near first down on 3rd and about to Burlington.
John Kirby said, we'll rotate backs all night between Samuel and Murray. Well, it's paid off on that 3rd down play.
Well, it sure has. It's been Samuel here in the second half.
Now both are on the field. 4th and 5. Inside handoff, Samuel. He is close. Wow, this will depend on the spot. And he might be short. Reidsville thinks he's short.
Well, it should be from the spot of the judge to the near side. So along
the refs will review this.
That Eastern Alamance sideline.
Mike Ward takes a look. What a huge play for Reedsville. They get this stop.
The same exact play they ran where Samuel scored from 80 yards out earlier in this game, in this half. No less. Trying to fake the defense out again. Some of the Rams stayed home this time, were able to make that play and give themselves a chance here now with the chains coming.
Hey guys, it's real tight. It's real tight.
This is the fun part of high school football. Will the chains be right? How close? Here we go. Short.
Wow, that was a full yard.
Now it's Reidsville with a chance. 7:54 to play.
Man, oh man.
You see John Kirby with his son JT, the O coordinator, wanting another review, but he won't get it.
It's a golden opportunity as well, missed by this offense of Eastern Alamance. Think about when the drive started. They stopped Reedsville on 4th down, deep in their own territory, get the football back in prime position, and cannot convert yet again.
Al Lee, who's 15 of 34 passing, gets another chance. Only down 5 because Eastern Alamance missed a 2-point play. 1st and 10, it's Cobb. Stretches. Cobb gets space. And Cobb goes into a defender. He'll get at least 8 before he's spun down by Tajon Robinson.
It's what you need to see out of Reedsville, some semblance of a run game here on this drive. Again, you've got 7.5 minutes left. You don't really have to rush here. You're only down by 5. Just run your offense, but find some things that work. If it's not working up the middle, try to bounce these runs to the outside and get creative with your running game.
8-yard gain, now 2nd and 2. Quarterback keeper, we saw this a lot in the first quarter, and that's why. Look at Al Lee get out past the 35. He's a tough quarterback to stop on that first down.
Some quarterback power that time, takes a little bit of a hop step and then just gets upfield, follows his blockers. It's a hard-nosed first down for this offense of Reedsville.
Al Lee averages 75 yards a game on the ground. How important is this drive for Al Lee as a quarterback?
Well, it's got to be monumental. If there's an opportunity to win this football game, it's got to be on this drive. Take control here, go down the field, put the ball in the end zone, and again, put the onus back on an Eastern Alamance offense that has been very inconsistent all night.
Layoff his 10th carry to pass. Throws it outside. Nearly a one-handed catch. Looking for the tight end, Kendra Harrison.
These long throws out to the far side of the field have just not been there for either side tonight. We've seen Jason Ball try to test that, and he had one of his balls intercepted. This time just going out there, and you have to go underneath a well-placed defensive back. Even for a player with the stature of Harrison, that's a tough catch to make.
Harrison has 5 catches tonight. He's been targeted a bunch. The 6'7" sophomore offers from multiple Power 5s all over the country. Lee, tunnel screen. Nothing. Peyton Wright slams him down. He's been Mr. Wright all night.
It just seems like some of these screenplays are taking too long to develop. And by doing that, this defense is having a chance to get over and make plays on the football. It has to move fast. When you have those screenplays, you're catching the defense off guard and out of position. They've got to move quicker to get yards.
Another 3rd and 9. Eastern Alamance struggling on 3rd down today, just 3 of 10.
This is where the pressure has gotten to Reedsville, these long down and distance situations.
Quarterback scrambles, pressure, pass caught. Harrison, he'll get 15 to move the chains.
That's a big boy catch right there. Harrison just goes up that football. Great job by Ali to stop and set his feet outside, deliver an accurate ball down the field to Harrison.
And Harrison is cramping up and down this drive, making plays.
See, he was tapping on his chest right there to see if he can come back out.
And coach said, no, my friend, you keep playing. Kendre Harrison, who has 15 Power 5 offers as a sophomore. He's got so much talent. Now a fresh set of downs. Lee throws short. That's Jones. Hit hard from behind by Anthony Saunders after a gain of about 3.
Well, you want to look at Bynum there as the corner just kind of gets shoved off for a second, but in reality, he did his job. Held Jones up just long enough for the rest of his defense to rally over. I'm telling you, I've been so impressed by this defense's ability to just get to the football as a group, not just as individuals.
That was a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Lee catches the bad snap, now runs it, and dives down after a gain of 1. A little awkward end of that play, 3rd and short.
He's a little frustrated, showing some frustration, trying to communicate. Just seems like these guys aren't on the right page.
With his center, John Flippin, no relation to Flip Flippin.
A couple of wonky snaps here towards the end of the game. This is where you're tired. I mean, you've played now 3 quarters, better part of 3 quarters of football. You've got to stay on top of it. Mental fortitude.
Here's a 3rd and 7. Lee, designed run, slings it out. Nice catch. Whoa, Harrison still on his feet, and he gets near the 20. Creative play call to find the sophomore tight end.
Well, just a nice, easy pitch and catch to the outside on the sideline. But from there, it was all Harrison. The strength to stay up, break the tackle, and then the wherewithal to get down the field and get more yards after the play.
3 catches for Harrison on this drive.
I mean, what else do you say? The physical, look at the nice catch to the outside, brings it in, and then gets upfield. Just pays attention to where he's at on the field and continues to get yards after the catch.
Nearing the 4-minute mark. Both teams 3-0. Handoff. Cobb up the middle. It's about 4. This is the 10th play of the drive. Reedsville ticking the clock here, 4 minutes left.
Bit of a statement drive here too. Just get down the field, you're using clock. This is a good drive. It's a very good drive. Something we have not seen out of the Rams all night tonight.
Now in the red zone for the first time this quarter. 2nd and 6. Lee, end zone, dropped. Jones lost it. Put it right between the 8s.
That was a pro level play right there. That is a next level play. Look at that, just coming back to the football. That's being on the same page as quarterback and wide receiver. You've just got to finish that play and bring that football in for 6. What a missed opportunity.
And now in 4-down territory, it's 3rd and 6. Lee pressured, handoff, Cobb, shorts. 4th and about 2 coming up. The tackle there by Chambliss.
And how huge is this play coming up? And given the way that Eastern Alamance can run the football, like we know they can, not just in their quick strike ability, but the 2 backs that they have and how good they are, Reedsville's got to convert here.
Matchup of undefeated teams. It comes down to this play.
Strength on strength. This is where your guys up front on both sides need to make a stand.
4th and 3. Quarterback keeper bangs forward. This will come down to a measurement.
Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought it was.
Did Al Lee get enough?
Man, that's a lot closer than I thought it was.
This is the game right here.
It really seemed like he got across that line initially.
The refs will bring out the chains. This is huge. Short, wait.
And they're bringing out the chains.
I will say Mike Ward confused us there because he said short, then he said come here chains. So they'll take a look. Why don't they just bring out the chains?
There they go.
There we go. Hold the drama.
Can you tell how bad both teams want this?
And pass the catcher.
Yep.
This is it. 4th and a measurement. Short.
That was short. Wow.
We'll take the timeout. Peyton Wright and company on the right side of a stop. Eastern Alamance gets the football back. The Reidsville Rams put the game in the quarterback's hands. Al Lee, he comes up short on 4th down.
Well, that's really what you want to do here. He is your star player on offense. But I'm going to tell you right now, we've called his name so often tonight. Peyton Wright, Johnny on the spot, makes arguably the biggest play of the season.
And down to Rebecca with more.
Guys, after that play, Peyton Wright came over the sidelines, riled up just as everyone else, but Peyton has told me that his style of play, he tries to play mean, aggressive as possible. He finds a way to get mean and pissed off, and you could see it in his eyes. He was mean, but he was hyping up those guys, giving them high fives left and right.
The North Carolina state leader in tackles last year. This man knows how to play football.
You got to understand, 177 tackles at the high school level is absolutely ridiculous.
First in the ball game here, 1st and 10. Reidsville has 3 timeouts, so a first down doesn't win this game, but it puts you in a great spot.
Absolutely. But now it's got to be the running ability. Can this offensive line and running game take over?
Murray goes forward. Murray hangs on to it and gets about 7. That's a nice run for Josh Murray, who fumbled tonight.
Right there, both hands on the football. Almost as soon as he got close to the line of scrimmage, both hands were covering that football. That's good awareness by the junior running back, Josh Murray.
So Reedsville elects not to use the timeout, which means Eastern Alamance can milk the clock.
As much as they want to. The questionable clock management reared its head at the end of the first half on both sides. And now, right now, it seems like it's doing it yet again.
Big decision here on 2nd and short. Back to Murray. He is short of the sticks. So now you have to use the timeout, right? There it is, first timeout. Because if Eastern Alamance does not get this first down, you get the ball back with about 1.5 minutes left.
And you'll get your second timeout.
We'll take a timeout here. Discuss the final 2 minutes when we come back. Eastern Alamance looks to put the game on ice. Great night in Mebane, North Carolina. Game on the line, 3rd and short. Eastern Alamance looks to move to 4-0 if they can get this first down.
Big boy football for a team that runs the ball as good as anyone in the Greensboro, Burlington area.
Matchup of 3-0 teams, and it comes down to this play. 2 minutes left.
Somebody's going to have one loss by the end of this game tonight. What a second half we've had here.
Resetting the clock an extra second or two. Here we go. 3rd and 5 for the ball game.
Peyton Wright's in the backfield.
Ball feeds his tailback, who dives for the first down. That's Josh Murray putting the game on. Very close. We had 2 different spots.
And they were like 1 yard or 2 yards apart.
Hold on, that's not a first down. One line judge had it short, one line judge had a first, and now a challenge.
Take a look here. You see Peyton Wright in the backfield, Tyreek Samuel as well as a lead blocker.
He's down there before the second dive. That knee is down, correct?
Correct, but that was when he was getting up to about the 25-yard line. Am I wrong in thinking that?
Let's see the measurement here. It's high school football. You always get something.
First down.
First down. Just enough for Joshua Murray. The 2-time all-conference tailback who's never beaten Reedsville in his tenure.
It's got to feel good, and now Eastern Alamance in control. Tough running right there, just going right ahead. You bring in your all-star linebacker as a lead blocker on that last play, no less.
And Eastern Alamance doesn't have enough players.
But here's the thing, Reedsville's letting the clock run down. They're just letting that clock continue to bleed, and Peyton Wright's coming back onto the football field.
Oh no, that's 15 seconds burned off the clock. And the D coordinator, Doug Mars, has just called a timeout. Which means there's only 1 timeout for the next 3 plays. That'll end the game. Barring a fumble.
Barring a fumble. And we were talking at the break, Evan, about whether you use these timeouts even if Eastern Alamance picks up the first down. I think absolutely, because you've already seen this ball put on the ground 2 different times tonight. Much less by running backs.
Let's confirm here which team used the timeout.
Well, it had to have been Reedsville.
But why use it there? Because then you want to burn the 2 plays with a timeout. At some point, you're going to run out of time.
I think realistically, even if you're using the timeouts in a hope here that you can create a turnover. I mean, that's exactly what you're going to see here in the next couple of plays, is Reedsville trying to swipe at that football and get it out of the hands of Eastern Alamance. So again, if you're Tyreek Samuel.
And that's a lot on the shoulders of a first-year head coach.
Right.
Son of the legend, as a matter of fact. And there's the legend Jimmy Teague, who won 8 state titles. He's sitting down with the head vet. And then his son, Eric Teague, now running the show. Back to right. He's got the first. And he goes out of bounds. What are we doing here? It does move the chains, but it just resets the game.
Got to get down. Again, field awareness. Murray does a good job bouncing outside. Great job up front by blockers. And they're actually really lucky almost there for maybe a horse collar.
What a smart tackle by this Reidsville defense after the Riddle tractor first down.
I think right now they're getting into victory formation. Murray is way back behind formation.
Jason Ball takes a knee, and that'll work the clock. Okay, now the clock does start running. Jason Ball says, come on, let's get this thing moving. I want to get my first win over Reedsville in my tenure. Senior quarterback who's been in a couple of tough battles over the years with Reedsville.
Oh, what a huge win this is for Eastern Alamance, no less. You look in the standings coming into this game this week. Eastern Alamance 8th in the Greensboro area. Number 9, yeah, that's Reedsville. So a huge matchup within this area. And Eastern Alamance has been searching for this win.
One more play required to wrap this thing up.
Just a gutsy effort on a night where nothing seemed like it was going to come easy, and it sure didn't. Eastern Alamance made the plays that it needed to when it needed to. And if you're looking for a big win in the Greensboro area as any, this might be it right here. The Eagles getting revenge for a heartbreaker last year in Reedsville.
Best start since a talented Eastern Alamance team made the state championship. It's a 4-0 beginning for the home squad. The Eagles soar to an impressive win over Reedsville.
Again, just an imperfect night from both sides, a sloppy game. One team has to come away with a win, and on nights like this, it's gonna be the team that made the plays when they needed to make them. And it was the Eagles of Eastern Alamance that was able to take control here in the second half and grind out a win that they'll take a lot away from that they can improve on. But the biggest thing, they get a W over their heated rival in Reedsville.
Eastern Alamance has been to a state final. They've started 3-0 9 straight years. But this is the first time in a decade they get to 4-0 and defeat a big rival in Reedsville.
Well, you get the monkey off your back in that way, right? You've been searching for this kind of a start. 3-1 is great, but you want to get to 4-0. You want to be in control of your own destiny as the season continues to tick on. And Eastern Alamance has positioned themselves in just a way by going to 4-0 and being the Reedsville Rams here tonight.
We'll take the timeout, get our final interviews with the winning head coach when we come back.
Well, Eastern Alamance gets their revenge over Reedsville 19-14 here in Mebane, North Carolina. We're now joined by head coach John Kirby. Now, at halftime, coach, you said you wanted to talk to me, but that only happens if you get the win. You're sitting here right now with the win.
You said the other day that you get to talk to the winning team at the end of the game. Yeah, I'm sure I'm glad you're here right now talking to us.
You get your revenge over Reedsville. How did you guys get it done here in the second half?
I think we played with hard work, and I thought our defense played lights out.
That fourth down stop, take me back to that fourth down stop.
You know, I don't think Coach Morton and those guys ever stopped believing that they were going to get a stop. Javante and CJ, we got all these J's on our defense. Peyton, they came up big when they had to, and we're so proud of them.
And then on the offensive side of the guy right here, Tyreek Samuel with that 80-yard explosive finish. That the team hyping it up. What do you have to say about his physicality?
Tyreek, we put bionics in his leg this week since they were bothering him a little bit. But we you know, he hit the corner and he took off. And I'm proud of Jason. I'm proud of Tyreek. I'm proud of Jay. All these guys right here. They, you know, receivers, offensive line. We all did. It's a total team effort.
Well, he is our Carolina Classic Fair player of the game, Tyreek Samuel, there with that 80-yard touchdown. Well, Coach, both these teams came in 3-0. You leave here today 4-0. What does this win mean at this point in the season?
4-0 means that we did good in the regular season and in the preseason. Now we got to get ready for the real deal. So we got a week off, and then we got crosstown rival Western Alamance we got to look forward to.
Well, before that, it's trophy time right here. You guys are taking home this trophy. Rivals, winners here, Eastern Alamance. Congratulations, guys.
Gotta love trophy presentations. Oh yeah, Tyreek, you deserve that one. He is our player of the game. Rebecca was spot on. Carolina Classic Fair, player of the game. There's magic in the fair, and there's magic in this couple of touchdown runs tonight.
Well, there's magic in the fair, there's magic on the ground, and all that results in Tyreek Samuel just having a stellar night and an otherworldly second half where he was able to just take over from the first drive where he scored a touchdown, 80-yard touchdown to score later. I mean, just a fantastic effort the whole way around. You can't say enough about the ground game, just responding in such a positive way in the second half. Led
18 carries, 176, and this 80-yard score.
Yeah, I mean, just, again, just a dynamo. These two running backs, as long as they can keep the turnovers to a minimum, don't put the football on the ground, fix that. I mean, good luck stopping them. For anyone else in the regular season, it's going to be hard to stop. And Tyreek Samuel just shows off the afterburners there. The 80-yard scamper and score.
That's the West Shore home play of the game, bringing happiness to everyone's home. Low scoring game, but still plenty of scoring summaries. Our Linder Turf and Tractor scoring summary. Because at halftime we sat there at 7-6 and said, well, no, Mark, there's not going to be a lot of points tonight. And then in that third quarter, clearly the touchdown to put them ahead for Eastern Alamance, but both offenses came to play.
Oh yeah, absolute explosion in the third quarter. And then it was really a stalemate in the fourth, but again, it was said before, Eastern Alamance and Reedsville, one of them had to make plays when they absolutely needed to tonight, and that team was going to win the football game. It was the Eagles. When it came to crunch time, they were the ones who stood tall and were able to come into this game knowing that they had to get past an obstacle and an opponent they haven't been able to recently to move to 4-0, and they did just that.
What a night for Eastern Alamance football. 4-0 start for the first time in a decade and taking down their rivals in a tough one at Reidsville to wrap this thing up. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors who make this game possible. We'd also like to thank Capital Metals and High Point for providing the plaques and the trophies you see tonight. First Source Rentals for those end zone views, and a Mountain Fried Chicken for the pregame meal, because that's always important. Finally, to the high schools, thank you so much. Administrators, especially here at Eastern Alamance, for setting us up for our Friday Night Rivals broadcast. Coming up next week, we got a little different taste for you. Friday, September 15th, Bishop McGuinness. Got to love those Catholic high schools in the state. They host the C.S. Davidson Spartans right here at My 48 Sports. For Drew, our director, Lori, our producer, Mark Covert, our talent, Rebecca Fiorentino, the brains, Evan Budjerovich, the voice. We say good night from Mebane, North Carolina. It was all Tyreek Samuel and crew. Reedsville put on a show, but just not enough, and Eastern Alamance moves to 4-0. Have a good night, and thanks for joining us here in Mebane.